All right, what's up, guys? We are back with another podcast episode. This week, we're talking about a bunch of random things. We've got a couple pickleball bags we wanted to go over, some new weights from Slyce. These ones are actually kind of interesting. I'm kind of excited to talk about these. And then we have two paddles we're going to loosely talk about, the Pickleball Apes Charm and then the 6-0 Black Opal. We're going to talk about why there's not a review out on that yet. And then later talk about Worlds. And yeah. So first, we're going to kick this off with just a funny story.
Yeah.
A DUPR story.
Ooh.
Everyone loves a good DUPR story.
Always.
So first of all, I have to say, so obviously I've been in the DUPR app a lot, just, at tournaments. I'll go see after the end of a day what's my DUPR up to or down, just for the Chasing 5-0 series.
Turn into the DUPR snooper.
Not quite the DUPR snooper yet, but it's starting to feel like it. So I open, first of all, I've already talked about this, but there's just ads everywhere. And I swear the ads are getting worse and worse.
It's weird because it was like really bad and then they toned it back and then it's getting worse and it just keeps fluctuating. It's like every time I open the app, it's something different.
I feel like I keep getting these weird like side pop-up ads. I don't even know how to explain it. I wish I had a screen recording of it, but yeah, the ads have just been really annoying. And obviously they want people to pay for DUPR Plus or Premium or whatever. But in my opinion, the way it is right now, I don't think there's any reason to pay for it. I don't think they've made good enough incentives, go ahead.
Agree. No, I was saying I totally agree. And personally, one of the ads that makes me the most upset is when you open the app and you have to like wait for like the X to show up to click out of the ad.
Apparently you don't. I was talking to someone about this. Apparently
it's just hidden.
It's just hidden.
Interesting. Because I remember one time I had opened the app and it just like never appeared.
Yeah,
and it was, oh my gosh, I was getting so frustrated.
I'll try and open right now and see if I get.
I think I just like reclosed the app and reopened it because it was making me so upset. But if that's true, where it's just hidden and you can still hit the X to clear out of that ad, that would be.
Hey, for once, I didn't get an ad right when I opened it. Maybe now it's back to not being so bad.
Could you imagine now, right as we're talking about it, there's just no more ads?
But okay, so the story I wanted to tell was one of our friends. She was telling us on the trip that she could no longer look people up, that she would get a pop-up from DUPR that said, you need to pay for DUPR Plus in order to be able to look up, I think the exact phrasing was something like, to be able to look up friends and foes, you need to pay for DUPR Plus. And I was sitting there going, well, mine doesn't do that. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Mia's didn't do that. So we were just kind of like, oh, I don't understand what's going on. So then we told her, hey, just, delete the app, re-download it. Maybe it's bugged. Maybe they shipped a version to like a group of people that they weren't supposed to, or maybe they're just testing it. And then when she deleted it and re-downloaded it, it was completely fine and she could search people again. But she showed me, unfortunately don't have a screenshot, but there was a very clear message on screen that said, if you want to look up your friends and opponents, you need to pay for DUPR Plus.
It's coming, guys. It's coming.
And I'm just telling you right now, I'm still not paying for it if you do that to me. I'll just accept the fact that I'm not looking people up anymore.
Same. I'll just look at my own, which I rarely ever do.
I'm curious what you think about this, because here's my thought. The thought of paywalling something as simple as looking up your friends or your opponents, like paywalling that just like kind of makes me upset. I would actually respect it more with how, and look, if this ever happens, don't get your pitchforks for me giving this idea. I don't even want to say it because I don't want to give the idea, but I would respect it more if, with how DUPR is integrated into everything, leagues, tournaments, and like how it's enforced in all these different places, if you basically had to pay an annual fee of, let's just say $60 to have a DUPR account in order to play tournaments. Like, hey, you want to play in DUPR rated tournaments?
It's kind of like for USAP tournaments, you had to be like
a member.
Yeah, a member or whatever. And it's like, like $50 or $60 a year.
Yeah, I would respect that much more than telling me, we're just going to paywall this feature that
It also makes no sense because it tries to be like a social media thing where you can like follow people and like
pay for this social media platform.
Yeah, and it's like, so you can follow people to keep track of them, but we're going to force you to pay to keep track of your friends. Like, it's just silly. And then it's funny you bring this up because I also had a similar interesting DUPR story where in Vegas, I was hanging out with a couple buddies, and we were watching some matches, and we like to kind of gamble and bet on some pro matches and guess what the over-under combined score of the losing team would be. And so then we got to thinking, my two buddies were 6-0 plus, and we were like, and my other friend was a 5-0. So we both, there was like our rating and their rating were almost exactly 1 full point above us. So we used the DUPR forecasting thing to see what it gave us. And 2 5-2s against 2 6-2s, it gave us 2 points. So we were like, 2.5 is the over-under. I went to forecast it, and I hadn't done it in like a week. I hadn't used that feature at all. And it blocked me and said, you have hit your limit, your weekly limit on forecasting. But I hadn't even used it once. So I'm like, what do you mean I hit my limit? And so we're all joking. They're like, Isaac's just over here, forecasting everything. And then my other buddy used it, and it let him do it as many times as he wanted.
Weird.
So I'm like, I don't know
Maybe
what's
again,
up with
it's
that.
like things that were being deployed to like groups of people. Like I know YouTube often deploys features to like groups of people before rolling it out entirely. So
I definitely think that's possible.
But whatever it is, I don't know. Here's the thing. I understand that DUPR needs to make money, right? You're providing a service. You're not going to do it for free.
Yeah.
You need to make money somehow. I'm not against them making money. I just think there's probably better ways to pitch it, or maybe pitch value. And to me, it makes way more sense to do it almost like USAP, where it's, look, all these tournaments use it. So, okay, you want to play the tournaments, then this is what you pay.
Would it be annoying? Yes, but I would much rather that than whatever all of this.
Isn't that kind of like a thing? Don't you have to like pay for your handicap in golf or something?
Something similar to that. And the same thing in bowling. Back when I used to bowl, you had to pay for a yearly membership to play in sanctioned tournaments and events.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of how it is throughout sports.
Yeah, so I don't know. But I just thought it was, when I saw that, I was like, bro, there ain't no way I'm paying to look people up. Forget that. I was like, I'll just stop. Because here's the thing. At this tournament, I would look people up occasionally just to see kind of what are we up against. Am I about to like face a 5-5 and just get obliterated? Or maybe there's a weaker player and maybe you want to know that going in. But here's the deal. If you just play pickleball, you'll figure out really quick which one if there is a noticeably weaker player, you're going to figure it out. Any match that we had a very weaker player, we figured it out very quickly.
Right.
With or without DUPR, So I don't know. I thought it was a funny story. Okay, moving on. Next week we will have, hopefully, maybe like a whole episode just kind of on Black Friday sales. This is something I need to kind of get up to speed on. So if any brands are out there listening and you want to just email me your Black Friday deals, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, you can probably expect an email from me shortly. But one that was sent to me, and I wanted to mention it because I think by the time next week's pod is up, this sale would almost be over. And I actually think this will probably be one of the better sales. But 11/6/24 is doing a sale from 11/6, which is already passed, to 11/20, which is, 8 days away. Yeah, 8 days away. And all the paddles are 20% off, 10% off the jelly beans, and codes do stack on top of that. So I looked into this. The Power Series, $118. And Power Series for $118, that is even with all the foam paddles, that's a steal. Like, that is a very good paddle. That would be very easy to recommend for that price. The Alpha Pro Power, $150. Also a solid paddle, slightly less of a deal, but it's still decent. And then the jelly beans at $80, which is another great, I don't even want to say beginner, because intermediates could easily use it. Honestly, even some advanced players could use it. It's just not going to have as much power and pop. But for $80, great deal. So if you're looking for someone that's just trying to get into pickleball, jelly bean's a great pickup. If you're trying to buy someone a paddle as a gift and they're getting into it, jelly bean. Heck, even if you just know someone that wants a better paddle than what they got right now, a Power Series for $118 is a pretty darn good deal.
That's a solid deal.
So, just wanted to mention that because I know that is active right now, and that'll probably be one of the better sales we see this year. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be linked down in the description. Okay, next up, want to talk about some bags. So we've gotten a handful of bags recently, and some of these were pretty nice. I think bags have been in an interesting spot. So a lot of the bags, like you and I have been using, definitely more on the expensive side. You've been using a Court Caddy for well over a year now.
Definitely.
Which is a great bag, but it's very expensive. I think it's like $320 right now. There are very few people I can confidently recommend a $320 bag to.
I will say, though, yes, it's expensive, but I have just that poor bag has been through the ringer. I have abused that thing, not intentionally, but just like I forget things all over the place. Sometimes I leave stuff here because I'm running around doing stuff. I've left it outside a few times here and it's sat in the rain and then I've had to dry it out. I had a drink spill all over the inside of it. I just have tossed that thing around, traveled with it. It's been beat up. Still in perfect condition.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's expensive, but it will last a very long time.
For sure, which is a great part of the bag. I think, when I initially reviewed it, like talking about the materials and like how well they felt. And I mean, even mine after, I don't know, what was it, a month or 2 months of use and a lot of travel had held up great. So the fact that yours is still going as well as it is after a year is a pretty amazing testament.
The only thing that has broken on it is the zipper pull tabs, which mine is like the older ones where it was much thinner. And that was a common issue. I know they kind of fixed that. But that's literally the only annoying thing that's happened.
Yeah. I just think for most people out there, unless they're just really into nice bags, most people could get by without a $300 or $20 bag.
For sure.
Right?
It's definitely a luxury. Yeah. Like if you have the money to spend and you're into bags, then it's great. But otherwise, for most people, I probably wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. And I've been using the Ford Ranger, which is just another bag that's a little bit smaller. I've really been digging that bag.
I saw a bunch of those at Worlds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of those at Worlds. People walking around with those. That one is pretty nice. I have used that one a bit, and it is kind of nice to have a thinner, lighter, smaller bag.
I do want to see the ADV Flex. I keep hearing a lot about that.
I saw somebody at Worlds with one of those too.
It looks nice.
Or maybe it was Justin.
I think Justin did.
Yeah, it was Justin.
Yeah. But we had the bags that were sent to us recently. This is going to be so hard to put these on the table.
I know,
this is going to be a blast.
Take up the entire table here.
Okay, let me zip this up first because then it'll actually fit on the table.
You might have to go over your mic. This one's an interesting bag.
Okay.
I like it and I have some beefs and quarrels with it.
Same. So Neonic is coming out with a bag. Neonic hasn't, they've been kind of quiet for a while. They haven't done much. I'm going to double check really quickly just to make sure.
Ever since Justin stopped using the Flare Prime X, they've fallen off.
Him and Lewis were definitely the Flare Prime X's absolute biggest fan.
100%.
Okay, I'm just going to double check and make sure that. Well, come on.
I will say though, the zipper tabs on this bag are very nice. A thicker rubber. I don't know if I love that they all say Neonic on them, but the material and how they're built is quite nice, and I do like that they're just built in with very nice zipper tabs. Material is that kind of like PU, like fake leather.
Yeah, that not even like leather. Like a very high quality material especially when we get into the price of this bag. Like this is feels good.
Yeah, for sure. It's a nice quality material. Like I don't know if it's waterproof.
It's probably I would imagine it's a little water resistant.
Yeah, for sure. It's a nice material. And I think, are these the like YKK zippers or whatever?
I actually don't know. I don't have a full spec sheet on this bag. It kind of just showed up and then we just got mentioned that it was coming out later this month. So I just checked. It is not on their website. But some point in November, it should be up. So maybe we'll revisit this again when it actually launches.
Sure.
But the main thing to know is it'll be $110 before code. It'll be $99 after. I think $100 for a bag is a very reasonable spot to be, especially when we're seeing, Core Caddy, 320, ADV Flex is like 220, Rangers, 160 or 180. There's just a lot of more expensive bags. And I think at $100, I think this bag offers a ton of stuff for people that need to pack a little bit more. But let's just kind of get into it because I think there are things that are great and things that are kind of a miss.
Yeah, especially because this is going to be how much you said, 110?
Yeah, before code.
$110 before code. And I see like the like square Selkirk bag everywhere, and that thing's like 130 or 150.
Yeah,
this is way better than that bag.
Yeah, not even close. Not even close. I've never understood that fridge backpack.
I don't get it either. It's so ugly.
But they keep making it, so it must sell.
Yeah.
So okay, first of all, there's 2 water bottle pockets on the side. They're just very stretchy.
That is probably one of my biggest beefs with this bag.
Okay, well, let's just get into it. I was going to say we'll come back to it, but why not just get into it now?
We're going right into it.
Okay.
So I'm so used to using the Cork Caddy, where the Cork Caddy is probably the nicest water bottle holders on any bag I've used.
I would probably agree with that.
I have like a 36 ounce thermos water bottle, not a super fancy one, just regular water bottle. It's a little bit bigger in diameter. Fits it perfectly fine. I used to have one of the big 128 ounce Yeti water bottles. Left it at an APP. Very upset about that.
Hang on, before you go into it, I have to tell this story because I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm sure there's some couples out there that are going to relate to this story. Okay, first of all, I've probably lost a couple water bottles here and there in tournaments. Yeah. It happens. I've definitely left my bottles at venues and then had to go back and get it for local tournaments. But I think, to my knowledge, I have lost less than 3 water bottles in the 4 years I've been playing pickleball. Okay, yeah. I lost my Awala at one tournament. And I was like, okay, well, I got to go buy another one. So me and my wife, Sarah, we go to the store and I'm about to buy one. And she goes, and now keep in mind, Sarah and I do this thing called fun money, where basically we get this allowance every month and you are allowed to spend it on literally whatever you want. And the other person is not allowed to say anything. This is how we...
No questions asked.
No questions asked. It's your money. You do what you want with it. If you want to save it, go for it and buy something bigger, do it. This is how you prevent the, hey, why did you buy that $300 paddle? You know we can't buy, that whole thing that all couples go through. Yep. It's a great system. Highly recommend it for couples out there.
I even use it for myself.
It's great.
And I'm single.
Yeah. Even for single people. It's awesome.
It's a great system.
Okay. So she's like, do you really need to buy an expensive water bottle? You're just going to lose it. And I was like, what did you just say to me? I was like, I have lost, before that Awala, I had probably lost 2 water bottles in the time I've been playing pickleball. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, first of all, I'm buying.
So where did you leave the first one?
A tournament somewhere.
But was it Virginia? Was it Vegas?
I think it was Virginia.
It was Virginia.
Pretty sure it was Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I left it in Virginia. I buy this water bottle. Then we go to Vegas. I don't even have this water bottle for a goddamn week. And I managed to somehow leave it in Vegas. And I knew going home, Sarah's going to be like, I told you were going to lose it. And I'm like, what is the timing that right after she says this, I happen to lose the stupid water bottle?
It is so funny.
And you already know I'm going to go buy a third one.
Oh my gosh, you're addicted. You're addicted.
It's a great water bottle.
These Awala water bottles, man.
It's a great water bottle. Anyways, continue with your story. I just had to tell that.
That is pretty funny. But yeah, I used to have the 128 really big Yeti water bottle. And when I lost, that's actually the reason why I stopped buying nice water bottles. And it fits in the side of a court caddy. It's crazy how big of water bottles that thing can fit. It's nuts. This thing might be able to fit a 16-ounce plastic water bottle.
Well, I know it will hold the water bottle I had to buy at Worlds just as a temporary bottle.
Yeah, but that thing's so skinny.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a 24-ounce, though.
Yeah, it's tiny. And 24-ounce water bottle, me in a tournament, if I go fill that up, it's gone in one gulp.
I think based on this pocket, I'm willing to bet you could probably get the right size 32-ounce bottle in here, but I don't think you're getting any bigger than
32 or 36-ounce water bottle that I currently have, that white one that you've seen, I was able to absolutely jam it into this pocket, but I wouldn't even say it fit. It was a nightmare to even just get it into the pocket in the first place. Sure. So to me, these pockets are just about useless.
Sure. I guess it just depends on the water bottle size you're using. Yeah. Obviously, not everyone carries a giant water bottle.
Most people who just go play rec or whatever, it's probably not a big deal, but I'd say most people who go to tournaments usually have bigger water bottles, and this is probably going to be a pretty useless pocket. But it's probably my biggest complaint.
So what I'll say, first of all, this bag just has a frick ton of pockets and holders. I mean, 2 water bottle holders. The front here, we'll try and show this. Oh gosh, don't knock my microphone off the thing. There's kind of like a phone key pocket here, which I will say right now, okay, man, got a lot of things to go over here. Okay, we're going to come back to that pocket. But there's a pocket on the front where you could definitely put keys, wallet, phone, whatever. I'm actually just realizing I didn't specifically use that one at Worlds.
Yeah.
But we'll come back to that. This bigger front pocket, this one's actually, I kind of think this is neat. So it's technically a shoe pocket, and it just folds open and holds some shoes. At Worlds, I did not use this to hold shoes because I'm wearing my shoes, so I don't need to worry about that.
And
but I actually do like this.
There's an expansion zipper here. So if you don't have shoes in there, it'll actually suck in the front of the bag to keep it thinner.
Yeah, you can make the bag smaller or bigger, which I think is actually a great feature. If you want to hold more, you have the option. Because actually, I don't think I actually don't think I can think of another pickleball bag that has an expansion. That's pretty normal in other bags that I'm used to owning, non-pickleball bags
and stuff.
Yeah. But so if you're going to put shoes in here, you could expand it. Otherwise, I just use this front pocket to kind of hold snacks and stuff.
Yep.
I'm going to take these shoes out for now. But I actually think the way they did that shoe pocket was really clever, and I like that way more than how the Court Caddy did like the shoe cube and how other bags have traditionally done shoe pockets.
This is pretty clever.
Yeah, this was well done. Now, this phone pocket I was talking about, I just had shoes in there, and it was much harder to get in this pocket. Like if I had put my wallet, phone, keys, AirPods in here, it would have been pretty hard to get them out of there. So
in and out.
Do just know that if you have shoes in there, it's probably that pocket's gonna be a little less useful.
Yeah.
Which is kind of one of the themes I'm gonna end up talking about this bag is it has a ton of pockets. I'm gonna try and open this. Oh, they're there.
He's lost.
They're right in front of me. I know. I'm just an idiot. Yeah. Table is just not big enough.
We need a bigger table. We need an upgrade.
This is going to be even worse when we get to the Franklin bag.
The Franklin bag's going to be brutal.
Okay, I'm just going to take stuff out here.
I don't even know how well people are going to be able to see any of this.
I'm not going to lie, they probably won't. So we'll do our best to describe it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is better. Now.
There we go. I can hold this up.
Okay, so first of all, this bag kind of opens like clamshell design. So
but not like it's the opposite of the ADV clamshell. Instead of like a
sideways
folding, like if you've seen like the folding phones, it's more of the like
think a old flip phone.
Yeah, old flip. Exactly.
It opens like that
vertically.
I personally, after getting so used to bags like the Forward Ranger and even the Court Caddy, where basically you unzip and the front just folds and then you can look straight down, I do find that I much prefer that versus these bags where the zippers go all the way to the bottom. Like I'm personally never going to open this all the way and fold this open. I'm only doing it right now so people on this podcast can see inside this bag.
I'm the same as you.
And there's one paddle pocket inside of here, and then there's a big pocket here. You could put some stretch bands.
This is like a mesh, like expandable, stretchy pocket.
Yeah. I'm so sorry for those of you listening to this. This is going to be
It's probably a nightmare to even understand what we're saying.
Yes.
So bear with us, please.
This is definitely a visual. Let me see.
The wide camera.
The wide cam will get it. There's another like zippered pocket here. I have just like electrolytes in there. There's 2 pockets up top. There's 4 pockets on the side of this bag that can just hold like a ball or
I'm pretty sure these are designed to be a ball pocket. So there's 4 ball pockets on the side of the bag. There's a zippered miscellaneous accessory pocket, and then 2 halved, like smaller, open top accessory pockets.
And here's what I found this week. There's other pouches in this bag, but let's talk about this one. This is the main compartment of the bag. What I found is that when I put stuff in all of these pockets, I had a paddle in here, I had some stretch bands in the bottom here, I had electrolytes in here, I had keys and wallet in here, I've got some lead tape, I had balls. Like this bag gets very tight. Like you open it and you're kind of like, oh man, it's like kind of hard to reach for something and find it.
Navigating through it without fully opening it.
Yes.
Very difficult.
Yeah. So I just found that if you really are going to max it out, then it's going to be a little tough. If you don't max it out, I think it's perfectly fine. You have options if you want them, but as someone who went to a tournament and had to carry a lot of stuff, I did find it was a little difficult to sometimes find the thing I was looking for. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I would say it was more just like a mild inconvenience rather than, oh man, it kills the bag.
Sure.
For me,
I would have really liked to see some like stiffer supports built into the sides of this part of the bag here. So when it's open like this, see how it kind of like folds?
And, yeah.
If the sides of these had some like supports sewn in to the inside of this, I think that would improve this quite a bit.
I agree. So now the next pocket or next like main compartment is one on the back. And this can actually hold another paddle
or
laptop. There's the multiple, again, mesh pockets, zippered. Like
it's like the same design as the bigger inner pocket with the like assortment of accessory pockets. I think it's exactly the same.
And this pocket for sure is this whole like pouch is very thin. If you put a lot in here, I promise you it's going to be you better be putting very small stuff in here.
Yeah.
Like a couple electrolyte packets. If you were going to like really put a paddle, an iPad, and then you had a paddle on the other, like I want to emphasize how tight this bag
My
would get.
thing is like, yes, there's more organization than, say, the Court Caddy. And potentially even more like open space, right? If you want to pack stuff in here. But trying to use and maximize all that space makes the bag very difficult to operate with.
It's more like you can use about, optimally, you're using maybe like 50% of the pockets at all time. You have them if you want them.
Yeah.
But you probably shouldn't use them all at the same time.
Yeah. I actually find that I can comfortably carry less paddles in this bag
Agree.
than the Court Caddy.
Agree.
But you have more organization with this bag.
For small stuff.
Exactly. So there's kind of a flip-flop there.
I think you could carry a lot of really small stuff in this bag really well. Like, I'm just going to rattle off a bunch of small things. Like lead tape, grips, electrolytes, scissors, a really small battery bank, sunscreen, and you would have lots of options, and I don't think that would overflow the bag. But as soon as you start putting larger items, massage gun, 2 paddles, maybe a laptop, I had a battery bank in there, I had a sunglasses case, if you put the shoes, the big items is where you start to cause problems.
Yeah. You know what the one thing this bag is missing that the Court Caddy has that's really nice?
What's that?
The dedicated sunglasses holder.
Yeah, that is a nice feature of that bag.
Yeah. I wish that was like a staple in every sporting bag.
Yeah, it's really nice. Also, this does have, it's a hidden pocket. They actually didn't, I had to find this. Someone had to show me. I think it was Justin. But they do have a small AirTag pocket right here. That's actually pretty well hidden.
Right above the laptop sleeve
compartment. Real quick, we've been on this bag for a minute, so I'm going to try and go through this a little quicker.
Yep.
On the back, this is what I was personally using as my phone compartment because I'm so used to phone, wallet, keys being in this like top portion of the bag that I just assumed this is what they wanted you to use.
Yep.
But now that I've remembered that front pocket, I'm actually realizing this is probably okay for maybe your wallet or some other small stuff. But I did find that if I was trying to put my phone in here, my iPhone Pro Max, it will fit, but you just kind of have to finagle it in there.
Yeah.
And if you were going to put keys, wallet, all that in there, it's too much.
I was using this one as well, and I was splitting up my keys and phone and wallet. I would just put them in different pockets.
Agreed.
But my thing is, goes into the side of the bag, and I much prefer the top vertical pockets.
I agree.
Like,
it's just very easy to access for your phone, especially at a tournament where you're checking to see if you got your text. It's so easy to get in and out from the top.
In and out, and if you don't want to zip it, like if you're just at like some local courts or a facility, you can just slide it in there and not have to zip it up. Where this is just much more difficult to have to finagle your phone in there. It's slightly more annoying, I would say.
I agree.
And this also does have the fence hooks, like the Court Caddy, metal fence hooks. So if you're someone who really likes that feature, this does have that.
And then last things we'll talk about are just the straps. I thought the straps were fine enough.
A lot of padding around the bag. The back of it, pretty much the entire back has padding on it, and it does have like a suitcase handle strap.
Pass-through strap. And then the top, I actually love this handle. The handle, this is like one of the best parts of it. This is one of the best handles.
I was going to say, that might be one of the best top handles on any bag I've felt.
Yeah.
That's quite nice.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I have a very expensive nomadic bag, and it uses a very similar padded handle, and I love it. It feels just really good when you're carrying it.
For sure.
So here's what I'd say. I think, and I know this probably sounds like we don't like this bag with all these like small criticisms. I actually think the bag itself for $100 is probably one of the best bags in pickleball that you can buy.
For sure, best value.
But you just have to understand that you have to use it a certain way for things to not be annoying. While you have many features you can use, I just don't think you can use them all at once. It actually reminds me a lot of the Court Caddy, where when it came out, it's like tons of options of things you can do. But if you filled all the ball pockets, you use the double water bottle holder, you put all the paddles in it, like that bag is so stuffed, it's kind of ridiculous. Like you kind of can't use everything at once or else it's too much.
Yeah.
I would say this is in a pretty similar boat, but the nice thing is it's 3 times less than a Court Caddy.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'd say it's not for people who have a lot of paddles. 1 to 2 paddles is what I would like comfortably recommend you use this if you're going to put other stuff inside the bag.
2 is probably ideal.
Like I carried 2 most of the weekend in Worlds, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But any more, and it would have been a problem.
This is a bag that I could definitely carry around locally and just go to drill sessions, play sessions, whatever. Maybe even local tournaments. but I don't know if I'd travel with this to like PPAs because I just prefer to bring more paddles with me.
Yeah, definitely. But I really think it's a great bag. I think the shoe pocket is great. The price is great.
For the price, it's awesome.
It's good materials. I mean, there are bags that are, I mean, I think of some of the older, I think Yola's either just did or is about to release some new bags that are apparently pretty good. But, some of their older ones, the Selkirk bag, like those are just not that awesome of bags.
Yeah. If I could just change the water bottle holders and add a little bit of support onto the side of the bag, boom. That would improve it by so much. And side bonus, this is something that, oh my gosh, every backpack style bag like this needs to have. Otherwise, it gets an immediate F-. I know that's not even really a thing, but I'm giving it. It stands up on its own. Every bag I own needs to stand up on its own.
I do appreciate a bag.
Otherwise, it will make me so angry when I try to set it down and it flops over.
Yeah.
Immediate, like I will not use it because of that.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that this bag will stand up on its own.
Totally. Okay, well, that was a lot of time on one bag, and we still got another bag to go through. Thankfully, this next one will be easier to go through.
Yeah. I don't know where you're going to put this. We're going to slide this iPad over to the front.
Oh, gosh. Okay, we have a giant... How much does this even take up of the frame? This bag is huge.
It covers up most of the background, but the wide camera gets it.
Okay, so... Yeah, just make sure you're on the wide camera the whole time for this part.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is a new Franklin Tour bag that's coming out. This is definitely for a tournament player that wants to carry a bajillion things. Realistically, I actually don't think this is all that different from other really large tour-sized bags we've seen, specifically like the 6-0 tour bag. This is bigger than the Carbon. I think it's another tour bag or pro bag. It is larger than that, and it might even be a little bit larger than the 6-0, but it's in the same realm as those.
Similar realm, and I'll let you finish your point, but there's one thing I like much more about this than the others, but I'll let you finish.
Okay, we'll come to that. So the side pockets is very much like some of those big tennis bags where you've got huge side pockets. I think yesterday I was able to fit about 4 paddles on each side.
You had a lot of paddles in this bag.
Yeah, I think 3 is probably the comfortable. 4 starts to push it a little bit, but it did hold it.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was going to be bad for the bag. So you've got that on the left and the right side. You have an okay water bottle holder on just one side. I did put a bottle in there, but I wouldn't say it's just kind of wide.
If I was going to put a water bottle in here, I'm probably just throwing it in the main pocket.
That I would agree. I think this side pocket would probably be best for like balls or something because it's wide enough that I think the bottle would kind of rattle around and maybe fall out. There's some side pockets here where, you could easily put actually that's pretty small. You could maybe put your phone and a wallet. I don't think you'd fit my usual wallet keys, AirPod phone in there, but it would hold it. And then it has a gigantic main compartment, which hopefully all these balls don't roll out on the table.
Oh, yeah. You have this thing chocked full of
20 balls in here. But this main compartment is gigantic. I'm willing to bet you I could fit, what do you think I could fit in there? 10, 12, 14 paddles?
Oh, I'd say probably 15. I think you could get 15 in there.
It's a lot. You could put a lot. I mean, if you were going to put literally anything you could think of bringing to a tournament, yesterday I had my full camera tripod. I had the radar gun. I had paddles. I had stretch bands. I had these 20 balls in there. It can hold a lot.
After the pod, I'm going to just max out this bag and see just how many paddles I can put in here, and I'll flash it up on screen.
Sure. Yeah, and then there's a lot of small compartments. There's 2 zippers on each side where you could put some stuff.
Organization.
Yeah, and there's small pockets where you could put electrolytes. I think these pockets on the inside are okay. They feel a little cheaper, not amazing, but they're there as an option.
I definitely think the organization on the inside of the bag could be a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But to my point, I was going to say where this compared to some of the other tournament bags, what I like about this more is just overall seems more built. The materials, the design, it's much more sturdy. It's not as flimsy. Where the 6-0 bag is not. It's big, but it's not sturdy. It doesn't have any support, so it feels like it just kind of flops in on itself, where the sides of it are very stiff. It's very solid. The zippers have extremely nice zipper tabs, which I very much appreciate. And just overall, the materials of everything on this bag are very nice. The top handle is very comfortable.
Yep. Very similar to that Neonic bag we were just talking about.
Yeah, it has a very clean, all blacked out aesthetic to it. And so just overall, this is probably the best / my favorite tournament style duffel bag I've seen.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I think they took everything about some of the other tour bags that already existed and basically just did it nicer. Better materials, better padding. The zippers seem nicer. It just overall, it just took that concept and made it better.
Yeah. Has a shoe pocket in the bottom. I believe that's for shoes.
Yep.
And then at the top has a similar pocket for
Phone.
Miscellaneous accessories, keys, AirPods, whatever.
Yeah. Maybe you want to stuff a couple balls up there. That's usually how I've used that.
Yep.
But
These side pockets, at least this one, the big one on the left side of the bag, is an insulated pocket, and then is the other one as well?
It's just like a
So just the one is an insulated pocket.
Yeah. So there's not as much to go over on here, but it's just a good bag overall. If
you're just looking for the most amount of space possible, this is your bag. Also, you can detach these shoulder straps and put them into a sleeve here. So if you don't want to carry it on your back as a backpack, you can hide these and carry it around just as a duffel bag, which I do think is a clever feature.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, that's pretty much the Franklin bag. This is $150. I think code PB Studio will shave off $15.
Honestly, for $150, that's pretty solid.
Yeah,
that's a good bag.
I agree. I think Franklin knocked this one out of the park.
Yeah,
it's a sick bag.
No, I like that quite a bit. It's a very nice bag.
That bag on the floor. Finally, I have table space back.
Back to having an open table.
That was crazy. That was so much space, and we probably just spent 40 minutes on 2 bags.
We need a Joe Rogan sized table.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, next thing I want to talk about. This is going to be an interesting one to talk about, but I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Slyce. They're the guys that kind of did the first replaceable butt cap with weight in it. I have mixed thoughts on how useful I actually think those are. Personally, I believe that I'm not saying that handle weighting is useless. I don't believe that at all. I think it does have an impact on the paddle, but I think what people often think it impacts is not fully correct, and it also matters a ton on how you grip your paddle, which I think is not something most people talk about. Everyone just says, add a Slyce cap, have faster hands. I don't really agree with that.
Extreme oversimplification and just not accurate, in my opinion.
Agreed. So anyways, but that's who this is about, and they just released a product that I think is very cool. So these are called the Slyce Slyders, and if you're watching the podcast, you can see that this is basically the same MOI style weight that Selkirk has, but the sick part is I can take this Allen wrench, I can loosen this, and then I'm allowed to slide this weight wherever the heck I want on the side of the paddle. So if you're watching, look, slide that up and down, and that is just awesome. So there's a number of reasons I love the concept of this. The first reason is if you want to try multiple setups quickly, dude, take you no time to change this. You go to your bag really quick, and you're like, you know what? It's just too heavy when it's up here. I don't like that. Okay, unscrew it quick, slide it down. Boom. You didn't waste any weight. I can't tell you the amount of times I have been on a court and wanted to change a paddle setup, but I don't really feel like wasting the tungsten or wasting the lead. This is just great for that.
For sure.
Now, it does only come in 2 options of weight. So they did the same as the boomstick, 7.5 grams for each weight. And then the other option is 5 grams. A 3-gram option might be nice to have just because I do know there are people who like to just use, 3-gram pods, like 1 on each side, and they're good with that. They are pretty concentrated. And then you do have to be careful which one you buy because they make a 16 millimeter and a 14 millimeter version. And I did try and put the 16 millimeter on a 14 and it won't hold no matter how much you tighten it. It just it's too loose. So I tried it on a 15 millimeter. I tried the 16 millimeter sliders on a 15 millimeter paddle, also didn't fit. So you would need a 14 millimeter version if you have anything under 16.
Got it.
And if you have 16 or greater, then you will need the 16 millimeter version. So
Okay.
do just make sure if you're going to buy this that you are aware of which one you're buying. These are also $30. So definitely more on the expensive side, but for a reviewer who's cooks through so much weight,
In literally just one night of or like one day of testing, you and I had a session, and then I had a later evening session yesterday. I almost went through one entire roll of 1-inch tape.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's ridiculous how much weight we go through.
And a couple things to keep in mind with these. First of all, they will not fit on any corners of the paddle. Because of how it is, it needs a flush edge. So basically, the only areas you can really put this on would be the head of the paddle, anywhere on 3 and 9 along the sides of the paddle, and then maybe the side of the
middle
throat
of
here.
the throat.
But you cannot put it like directly on the corners, which is a spot that people will put weight.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind if you're someone who puts weight there.
I'm just not a fan of having weight that condensed in one area. I'm very much so I like to spread out the weight across a paddle.
See, I used to be that way, and I think there still is a place for it. I don't think it's...
We kind of flipped.
We did flip.
Because I kind of used to do that, and now I don't. And you are now... I don't know, it's funny.
Ever since the boomstick and then trying it on a handful of paddles, like the Loco, the Quanta, I'm like, I actually really like when it's kind of concentrated like this. So...
I think this is a clever design. I give them props for making something like this. What I will say is my same opinion on the boomstick MOI weights. If you would like to now make any paddle as ugly as the boomstick weights, you can do that. I just hate how far it sticks out to the side of the paddle. It's just so I just don't like how it looks.
I'm all function for this one, baby. I don't care how ugly it is.
I mean, yeah, for us, I think it's great for what we need and quickly testing and not just going through roll after roll after roll of weighted tape. But I can't do it. It's too ugly.
Okay, but let's phrase it this way. You are just an average person 4 years ago before any we could, have access to things for free. Would you rather cook through all of those that you have to buy yourself, like $25 rolls all the time, or would you rather have this?
Well, back then I was cooking through rolls and rolls of tape, buying it myself off Amazon. Looking at this 4 years ago, 4 years ago, me would probably still pay for the weight.
Okay.
I genuinely think I would. I'm not just saying that. I genuinely think I would still just pay for the weight.
Sure.
Which I'm lucky enough to not have to. Thank you, Bodie, for sending me 20 rolls of tape. But yeah, it's just, they stick out so far from the paddle. I appreciate that it's all blacked out and
they actually do have other colors too.
Okay. It's harder to see than the MOI weights because they're red, but yeah, I don't think I'd use it.
Okay. Now, a couple things that we need to go over because I already know people in the comments are thinking about this. Are these legal for tournaments? It depends. If you play USAP sanctioned tournaments, which is basically all your local tournaments, APP, basically most of the tournaments you guys play, including PPA tournaments, for amateurs, you are fine. If you are 5-0 and under, fine. If you play anything pro, these will not be legal.
Yeah. UPA is going to look at this and be like, absolutely not.
Which doesn't surprise me. I mean, the MOIs, which are basically adhered out of the box, were a no-go. So something that you can adhere yourself, definitely not going to be okay.
What's so funny, though, is looking at this and feeling this, I'm going to pull and rip on. I highly doubt this is going to come off while playing.
I agree.
There's this is much more secure than any weighted tape that has an adhesive on it, right? Last night playing in our group, I had a buddy with a Quanta with 2 gram per inch lead tape on it, and in a hands battle, it went flying off.
I actually have had that happen.
So I just find it funny that they're concerned about these flying off, and they're like, oh, well, lead tape and weighted tape has kind of been proven. I haven't had any issues, and yeah, I guess I haven't had it in any pro matches yet, but I see it fly off all the time in rec games, amateur tournaments, all over the place. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of silly.
Oh, here's my defense in that, because I do think that with this, my concern would be, I completely agree with you. First of all, this is extremely adhered. I'm yanking on this and I can't get it to budge at all.
Yeah.
And I didn't even really over tighten this.
Right.
I could probably go tighter if I really wanted to. So I think the odds of it coming off are slim. However, there are a couple things. One, I'm just imagining that because humans are humans and we make mistakes or we maybe don't pay attention to certain things, I could see a world where someone maybe didn't tighten this down enough and maybe they clanked a paddle or they hit it on the ground and then it became a little bit looser. And then maybe the next time they went for an overhead, particularly I'm thinking if someone put this at the top, would be a little easier to have that happen. Then this flying off, I would be much worried about this hitting a person than I would a piece of lead tape. Like the lead tape, I think would hurt infinitely less than if this came off the top of the paddle when someone was like going for a swinging volley and it just like launched forward.
I don't know if I agree.
Why?
So my defense in this is I agree this would hurt very bad. And it does have some sharp corners, but I think like how my buddy had his weighted tape on his paddle, it's lead tape and the corners when he cuts it are very sharp. Mm-hmm. That flew off and one of those corners hit me in the eye, I'm done. Game over. This
would be game over too. This is kind of sharp in these areas.
The lead tape would hurt way worse and it was more weight than this.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because of how mine, when I've had lead fall off, how it has come off.
When we found, because we were looking, we couldn't find it. Mm-hmm. Literally found it 30 feet down the courts.
Sure.
So I don't know. Both would be very bad. My biggest concern would be this on the side of your paddle or on the head of your paddle and swinging for a ball in the middle and hitting your partner's hand and hitting their hand with this.
Sure.
That would hurt way more.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Because we saw Tyson do that to Tina, or not Tyson, Eric Onson's, no. Somebody on the Ranchers who's playing with Tina Pisnik hit her hand, and she immediately walked over and had to put her hand in ice and blah, blah, blah. If this hit your hand, that could definitely break a finger. Not that a paddle couldn't, but I think this would make it worse.
Sure. Yeah, either way, I do think there are legitimate concerns for them coming off. If maybe someone over tightened it, maybe it stripped itself, maybe someone didn't tighten it down enough. I just think accidents happen.
Totally.
And even in scenarios where accidents probably shouldn't even be that feasible to happen, they happen all the time. So that is where I'm just saying, if you guys are going to buy this, be responsible with them. Make sure they're tightened down. Again, I'm not that concerned with it. I'll probably test these a bunch and see how they hold up. And if I notice at any point it's getting loose, then maybe I would change my recommendation on that. But yeah, so they're legal for USAP tournaments. They are not legal for pro players on the PPA tour.
Yep.
Make sure, if you just heard me say that, you pay very specific close attention because a lot of people get it wrong. I had someone the other night. They thought the boomstick was just illegal everywhere, and I was like, no.
PPA pros.
It's gotten so confused, and I get why it's confusing. If you don't follow this stuff, which is a lot of people, it would be hard to follow.
For sure.
You see a headline and you go boomstick banned, and you're like, oh, okay. But and then they don't look closer. They don't know all the acronyms: UPA, UPAA, APP, PPA, USAP.
Yeah, there's a million different acronyms. Yeah. So I get how it's confusing. But yeah, 99.9% of people, this will not affect you.
Yeah. So overall, I think these are cool. I'm going to play with them more, see what my full thoughts are. But the concept of them for a reviewer, dude, I'm loving the idea of this for just like quick changes. Do I want to try higher? Do I want to try lower? Could do it in between games so easy. I don't know. I'm digging it. So yeah. Anyways, link will be in the description if you guys want to check it out. But I'm vibing with it right now.
Nice.
Okay, let's get to some actual paddles here. So we've got 2 paddles we're going to talk about. It's mostly one because I'm an idiot, and we'll get to that story in a minute.
Yeah, not great.
Okay. So this paddle will come out tomorrow by the time you guys hear this pod. Yeah, the pumpkin. Let's see if these will stand up.
Loosely, they kind of do.
They're standing. We vibe.
Standing enough.
Okay. So the Pickleball Apes Charm series is coming out November 13th. Today, when this goes up, it's hopefully the 12th. They'll have 3 shapes. They'll have the V, which is a wide body. They'll have the S, which is a hybrid. And then they will have the X, which is
the only one people will care about.
Nope, the V is where it's at. So, okay, I'm going to read off the specs real quick. Price of these is going to be $200 180 after a code. The Charm V, which is the wide body, swing weight of 112, twist weight 7.19. Our static weight was 8.17. The S, the hybrid, swing weight of 116, twist weight of 6.16, which for a hybrid, that's actually pretty low. I'm wondering if they like, I didn't measure this, but I'm wondering if dimensions aren't like maximized. Like I wonder if the width.
I was really surprised when I saw the twist weight number for that.
I mean, that's like elongated territory.
That's what I was thinking.
So that's kind of odd. Static weight was 8.1 ounces, and then the elongated Charm X, swing weight of 123, heavy boy, twist weight of 6.13, basically the same as the hybrid. You know what? Give me that. I'm gonna hold them up right now. Yeah. We're just gonna see. Maybe, whoops.
Got 'em.
Maybe these literally just have the same width.
I think they do.
Yeah, that would do it. I think they basically they kind of pulled a gearbox. I think they just made it shorter, but they didn't make it wider, which kind of defeats the purpose of a hybrid. If I'm seeing this correctly.
So what he's saying is just get the elongated.
Hang on. I think I might be wrong. It might be slightly wider. Okay, don't quote me on that. I actually can't tell.
It's really hard
to line it up.
Yeah.
But something is off with the twist weight, and it would lead me to believe that it is because of it not being wider. It would make the most sense. So, okay, that's the specs of them. The Charm X is definitely on the heavy side. If you are an elongated player and you don't mind heavy paddles like Isaac, nothing wrong with that. But if you're sensitive, then you're probably not going to want that elongated paddle. Honestly, all of these across the board, I would say for each shape, except maybe the hybrid, are on the quote-unquote heavier side. I wouldn't say they're extreme. They're just a little above average.
Sure.
So the reason these are interesting is because of the core design. So let me pull up the cores.
We have a dissected core here.
Got two of them here. So first of all, if you're watching this podcast, you're going to be looking at this thing and going, what on earth? That core looks crazy.
It's a really weird shape.
So it is a foam core. I want to say it's EPP, but I guess actually I'm now realizing I didn't read that as a direct quote. So again, don't quote me on that. But basically the whole like premise of this like foam core and why it's like unique is because they have these incisions going horizontally along the paddle that make it flex more. So like if I bend this, like you can just see it bending more, and like you guys aren't going to see it on camera, but the incision points just allow it to flex a little bit more than the other core we have right here, which does not have it, and it's just more rigid. So what Pickleball Apes is claiming is that by doing this, it kind of allows it to like bend and launch the ball, or like allow for more dwell time. And then if you're wondering why the core is cut out so oddly, if I hold this over a paddle, basically these areas where the cutouts are, this is where they put those different foam inserts that they did on the Harmony series. And that's why it's here. They do that on all four corners. And we're going to come back to that because I think this paddle plays a certain way, probably due to those inserts. So that's kind of this paddle's like claim to fame, if you want to call it that, is like these core incisions. That's what they're doing different than the other foam paddles out there right now. They claim that it creates fewer dead spots and like more predictable response across the face. I don't know if I agree with that in the play testing I've done now, but that's what they're claiming.
Yeah.
They did say the foam around here, around the corners, is like a polyurethane insert. So, okay, let's talk about how this paddle plays. I guess I'll go first because I played with this at a little bit at Worlds, played a couple games before Worlds, and then I played quite a few games last night with it. So these are kind of my first impressions of it. First of all, I would say it's a pretty dense feeling paddle compared to some of the newer foam paddles coming out that are more on the hollow side. This one just feels like pretty solid when you hit it. And it definitely has a softer feel than, say, a Quanta, a Vesel, a Boomstick, the Duo. If you don't like those stiffer feeling paddles, this is one of those foam paddles, kind of like the True Foam, I would say, that has a soft, or the Genesis, that has a softer like ball impact.
Yeah, more plush.
Yeah,
feel.
More plush. Control, I think, I would place this paddle probably. Power's gotten so weird, guys. It's like power got like pulled back and then power went like up. Because if you think back to beginning of this year, the 11.624 Power Series was a power paddle. And now I feel like by current standards, that's like upper all court almost. Like it's power has been shifting weird. It's kind of interesting how that's been going, even though PB core is a thing. So I'd probably call it upper all court paddle. I think it can hit the ball hard. I think there are times when I would hit a counter and I'm like, oh, that had more pop than I was expecting. Or when I would really lay into a ball, I would say it had pretty good power. But if I just played Worlds with my Loco. Loco, in my opinion, has more pop. It has more power than this. A boomstick has more. It's like it has some power when you really want it, but it's not overbearing. I would say this style of paddle is for someone that's like, you know what? I can generally generate my own power, but I wouldn't mind a little bit of extra help. But what I really want is the extra control.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I feel like these give you, is they have offense as an option, but they're probably, I don't want to say they're more control oriented, but it's like that's the thing that probably stands out a little bit more.
It just tones the power and pop down. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a control or even really quite an all court paddle, but it's just, if a Loco or a Quanta or a Vsol with weight on them or any of those foam paddles are just like too much, like a boomstick, but you like foam, this is just toned back a little bit.
Which I
or kind of the
appreciate
masses.
them doing. I know power is kind of the thing everyone like raves about, and that's what everyone wants access to. But with how many people are focusing on that, I think it's good to fill other segments of the market.
Yeah.
In that space where not everything has to just be all gas all the time. I think for a lot of amateurs, that's actually not a good thing. I actually think they'll play worse because of it. So I think this fills a good spot because of that.
And we really haven't seen any good full foam core paddles that are in that all court or more controllable range. We've seen some that kind of try to be like that, like the original Blue Core, the Blue Core Edge. 008, but those just don't play well.
Yeah.
Like they're more control oriented, but they just don't feel good. They don't have good sweet spot. They don't play well. So yeah, we just haven't seen many in that realm.
Yeah, totally. I think to me, the biggest problem I've had with this paddle as I've been playing with it is I just got the sense that the sweet spot, it was not bad. It is not anywhere near a paddle tech. I would not put it on par with that. And it may not even be so much sweet spot as in when I miss, the ball dies. I don't think I was really getting that from it, but it's more when I miss center, I really know I missed center, and I really don't like the feedback the paddle gives me when I miss center.
It was a sharp, jarring feel in the hand.
Yeah, like it would catch me off guard, and again, I don't think it's not like the paddle tech where you hit the tip and it just drops on the floor. I never really found that happening, but it was just like I'd hit it and go, oh, like I just did not like what my arm felt.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the only thing I can think is it's that the polyurethane inserts in the corners, because this is one of the only paddles that really does that all over in all four corners. But it's just as you get out to the edge, man, like instead of the whole face feeling pretty consistent, like the boomstick, where kind of no matter where you hit it, pretty much feels mostly the same.
Similar.
Or like even the Loco. This, it's like, man, you start moving a quarter or a half inch out, a full inch out, inch and a half out of the center, and you miss.
It's like I said, it's just a jarring, rough feel. And even like when I would hit a good flick, it's not like the ball died or it was a bad shot. I hit it properly, but it gave me a really bad feel in the hand. Mm-hmm. And that I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've said this before, and everyone hates it when I say this, where I feel like a paddle vibrates. This brings it to a whole nother level. I swear, maybe I'm going crazy, but I can feel a jarring, shaking, vibrating feel on the inside of the paddle. Not like, I don't even know how to describe it. I have not felt
I know what you're talking about. It's hard to describe.
It's so hard to describe. Like you just can't understand it until you've hit it, but it is just such an odd feeling that I'm not a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think compared to some of the other foam paddles, the floating core, EVA full foam paddles, this does have a tighter sweet spot overall than those, which is a bit of a bummer.
Yeah. And I did find that for myself, I know you played it with weight too. When I did add weight, which was probably about like 4.5 inches at 3 and 9 of 1 gram.
Measure it?
I didn't end up measuring, but that was probably roughly that.
Yeah.
I found that some of the complaints I had did go away. I didn't find that the off center was as jarring as before. It became much more tolerable. It was still there a little bit, but it wasn't terrible. That just kind of cleaned it up. The paddle, obviously the power increased a little bit, just felt like it plowed through the ball a little better. I found that weight cleaned up some of that. I don't know if I would say it was as good as some of the other foam paddles that I really like right now. Mm-hmm. So just know that could be, if you're interested in this paddle, that's just one of the trade-offs that you'd have to accept. If you're looking for that denser, more plush feel, you don't want all gas all the time, I feel that you trade and lose some sweet spot, and just the feel across the face is less consistent.
Yeah. It's kind of a bummer because, so usually it's the opposite, where there's a paddle where I'm like, man, I really want to hate this paddle. And then it ends up being pretty good. Where this is like, I really want to like this paddle, but it just doesn't quite meet like my requirements at this point. I love the color orange.
I do.
I think these look...
I know it's going to be controversial, but I like this
super
orange.
Controversial. I'm sure that we have the opposite opinions of most people. Most people are probably going to look at this and be like, ugh, that does not look good. I drive a bright orange Honda Civic. Thing looks like a basketball driver.
It looks like this paddle.
It looks like this paddle. So I think these actually look really cool. They're very clean. I think they look nice. The font is nice. And then the new Apes logo down here on the other side and not having anything on the face here, great design. I think it's very nice. I think these paddles look great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what to you is like the main like deal breaker? Because I actually think historically, based on some of your paddle preferences, that the feel and the way it plays was closer to what like you've liked maybe a year ago.
Yes, I think back in the day it was probably closer to what I like, and my paddle preferences have definitely changed in probably the last 6 months. I mean, now I'm using a lot more power paddles. I just don't like the extreme rough jarring feel towards the edges. Like even let's just say like the Shogun Gen 2 paddles never had that rough of a feel, like off center shots. And then whatever that, I just cannot describe it, that weird shaking, vibrating feel on the inside of the paddle, just, it throws me off every time I hit the ball. And I can't get over that.
Sure.
But I think the plushness of the feel of the paddle is very nice. And I also think just the size of the sweet spot is, I've gotten used to such big sweet spots with like the Inferno, the Loco, the Boomstick, all these paddles that going back to something like this, I'm like, ooh,
it is
just not
tougher.
Quite there, So it's hard to revert back to that.
Sweet spots across the board have just gotten so much better.
They've gotten so good now that once you feel something back like this, it just,
because I would say that this isn't even, again, like a bad sweet spot.
No.
It's just that it's not as good as what some of these newer ones are, where I feel like you just don't even worry about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's a good paddle. I played well with it. But would it be the first thing I pick up? Probably not.
Yeah. I think to me it would excel more in areas of like a person who has more of an all court style game, and isn't going to try and like completely overwhelm opponents. Shake and bake.
What's the face layup of this? I know it's like Kevlar.
Carbon fiber or something. I don't think they said.
Okay. Well, it would have been interesting to have this foam core with these slits, but instead of those inserts, do a floating core with EVA.
Yeah.
Like all the other ones.
Yeah.
But
it would be interesting.
Keep the slits.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of their thing.
Yeah.
So I think just EVA floating cores. It's the way now.
They
all feel so good.
Kind of just dominating the market.
They feel so good. I personally just think that is the future, man. They're just, in my opinion, so much better than everything else. And we're seeing some players on the PPA tour have very good success. My boy Roscoe out here using the Luz Tornado, messing people up.
It is pretty funny. The people that prior were citing all these things of like, oh, pros don't like foam. Foam's probably not that good, whatever. And now we're just seeing people who are like starting to use these Luz paddles and are like really loving them on tour, at least just talking to them. We've seen some of them at Worlds and some of these other tournaments. And you already know what's going to happen. The day Yola, if they ever decide to create a foam paddle, maybe they won't, maybe they'll stick with poly, who knows. But the day that happens, every person who was like, foam's garbage, foam doesn't feel good, everyone suddenly, the whole tune's going to change. Foam's the best thing. Yola made foam?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so good now.
My theory is that a lot of these pros have just gotten so used to the feel of honeycomb Gen 3 paddles, and they've had success with it, that they're just too stubborn to switch and change to something that feels fairly, if not drastically different, and they're just too stubborn to switch and get used to it, even though, in my opinion, it is better, because for them, it doesn't matter. Like, if they break them, whatever, they get a new one.
Yeah.
I know some of them find that annoying, but for most of them, it just doesn't really matter. I will say, though, going to these last 2 events, a bunch of the pros that I've kind of gotten close with and become friends with, all of them that have let hit the Loco or any of the floating core paddles, foam paddles, they've all liked it.
Yeah.
So, just saying, I think foam is the future.
Yeah. And look, I don't think this means that these Gen 3 polymer paddles are just like obsolete and, oh man, like every foam paddle is always definitively better. There's always going to be preference. Like it's a nuanced conversation, but I think it's just funny the like discrediting that always goes on, where they're like, some of it, like some paddles, I almost feel like if you didn't tell people it was foam, like if you told them it was a Gen 3 polymer paddle, that they'd be like, oh yeah, this is really good.
Yeah.
Where people just, they hear it and they associate with a thing. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to do some of those experiments with like.
My thing is that they're just so much more durable. Like, yes, there's been cases of some disbonding, but I haven't heard of any Locos disbonding.
The thing that I feel like I've been seeing a little bit more, and I have not had one to verify it myself, is some people have been saying various paddles just felt like they went more dead. Like their Quanta felt like it just had less pop, or their Boomstick had less pop, or I might have even heard with a Genesis for some heavier hitters before, but I haven't personally gotten to see one of those and hit it myself, so I don't know. Right. It's always tough with just random opinions online to know if people are feeling what they actually think they're feeling or if it's something else. But just like all materials, I mean, it's foam. At some point when it's been probably hit enough times, at some point it's probably going to lose some rebounding, right?
Yeah.
But
or glue is going to break down.
I would much rather the paddle go a little bit more dead than what happened with Gen 3s where they turned into rockets. We heard a Pro 4 at Worlds that was the craziest broken paddle. Like, we just turned around and was like, huh?
Dude, and it wasn't even, like, hard for people to tell. It's not like, sometimes, like, oh, you have to have kind of a tuned ear to hear it. No,
you could.
This guy's partner had the exact same paddle. He hits it, and it thonk, and then his partner hits it, ting. Same exact paddle. So it's like, come on, man.
It was so
How
broken.
do you not realize? It just, that stuff blows my mind, man.
And I think because a lot of people are unaware of this still and don't really know, right? I think it would be healthier for the sport for equipment to be trending dead rather than trending hot.
Yeah.
Because then you
sure.
don't have to have the awkward conversation of, hey, dude, your paddle's busted. Can you use something else like in the middle of a tournament? It's awkward. I've played against Core Crush paddles where I didn't call the person out because to me it feels petty to say that in the middle of a tournament, especially if they're winning.
Yeah, for sure. But then also, like, the reason people enjoy, they get used to hotter paddles, and then they start liking broken paddles, and when they get a new one, they're like, oh, I don't like this as much. The amount of people that I've known here locally that have had Core Crush paddles, and I let them know, and then I literally let the guy hit the exact same paddle, but a new one, and he's like, "Ooh, I don't like this as much." I'm like, "Yeah, because it's not broken."
Yeah, it's not a rocket launcher.
Yeah, it's just annoying. That's why people don't switch, is because they go, "Oh, I'm hitting it hard. Like I'm starting to hit the ball really hard." It's because your paddle's broken, man.
Yeah, exactly. All right, last paddle we're gonna talk about here, 6-0 Black Opal. So
there's a lot going on with this one.
Okay, so I had already put up a thing on Instagram about this, but I'm sure a lot of you didn't see that if you're not on Instagram. So I had been getting a lot of messages about, hey, when's the Black Opal review coming out? I know the paddle launches soon. And I just put out a thing that said, hey, look, I won't have one at launch date. Probably won't even have one near launch date because I heard that the paddle was getting small tweaks done to it. And I will only review a production model paddle. We had been told originally that the paddle wasn't going to change. And then for whatever reason, they decided to make some changes. Now, there are times, for example, the Loco. I waited to review it until I had the production one. But I was highly confident that literally the only thing that was going to change was the graphics. That's what we were told. They weren't like, hey, we're going
And that ended up being the case.
Yeah, it ended up being fine. But after the Ripple, I'm not willing to take any chances.
It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
The Ripple caused so much controversy. There were so many versions of it. It was really confusing for everyone, and I don't want to contribute to that problem.
No.
So when I heard that with the Black Opal, they said, hey, we're just going to make some really small changes. It's something of like about how the foam is packed and then like reinforcing the neck a little bit.
Yeah.
And they're like, it should basically play the same.
There's been some weird things with the grit on the like. Some
Well,
of the
there
units
was
we got.
ones that were like potentially going to be a UPAA only version and then a USAP, but then I think they kind of scrapped that idea.
Yeah.
But all you need to know is that I don't have one because I didn't have a production model and I wasn't willing to review a non-production model.
Yep.
We went to a 6-0 event while we were at Worlds, and I'm very glad I waited because
Same.
you would have gotten a very, 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 very different review had I reviewed that pre-production model.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, I'm only going to be able to give you my thoughts of when I hit it at that event because last
like
night,
a light, quick drill session we did.
yes, I went and hit it yesterday with our little drill session, and then I took it to some games that I was playing, but I was an idiot, and I accidentally took the old non-production model one.
I'm surprised you didn't realize immediately that you grabbed the wrong one because they feel so different.
Well, it's just when I got there, it wasn't like I just put it in the bag and then left.
Yeah.
And then when I was hitting it, the whole night I was going like, man, like I'm actually like really not liking this
But
one
that's
either.
what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you should have immediately recognized they're like, this is the wrong one. It would have taken literally one hit of the ball and I would have gone, this is the wrong paddle.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how drastically different I think they are.
I think it's, personally, I don't think it's that drastic, but it's enough that someone who is tuned, like I'd be very curious if you gave it to someone who knows nothing about paddles. Like take some of our friends who know nothing, if you could hit it and how many of them would think it's that drastic. I think to people who
I know
are
somebody
tuned,
we need to test this with.
Okay.
Our brother's wife.
Sure.
We need to have her try it.
Sure, that'd be perfect.
That would be perfect.
I personally think that non-tuned people would not think it's as drastic, but I think people like us who hit a lot of
I don't
stuff.
know if I agree.
Well, we'll find out.
They feel so different in my opinion. Like, okay, let me just say this. If you guys remember on the podcast weeks ago when we first talked about the Black Opal, and I immediately was like, I hate this thing. It's terrible, blah, 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 blah. With this one, you can basically scrap everything I said back then. I will eat my words, take it all back because it's not even close to the same. It's not as flexy. It's stiffened up. I actually feel like I can feel the core of the paddle. It's easier to control. The sweet spot's better. Like everything about the paddle is different in my opinion. So everything back then that you've heard me say about the Opal, throw in the trash because it's different.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's improved.
For sure.
Without a doubt. It is a better paddle than what it was before. I didn't like how at the throat it felt so bendy when you would hit the ball. This definitely feels stiffer. That must have to do with the reinforcements they did. The sound pitch changed, at least from a pre-production one that we got to hit that was pretty used at that event. The sweet spot feels expanded just a bit. I would say probably still tighter than things like the Loco Boomstick. Like, I mean, those are all just pretty elite sweet spots.
Yeah, those are just at the top right now.
So I would say this is probably closer to like the average category is what I would say. Like it can feel a little punishing in comparison, but I wouldn't call it bad.
I haven't gotten to hit it with weight yet.
The old one I would have called bad.
Oh, for sure.
A bad sweet spot.
Yeah, bad sweet spot for sure with the old one.
Yeah, it was very, very hard to have a soft game, very hard to be consistent.
I put weight on the old one, and not even weight helped it. This new one stock was better than the old one with weight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I think it's so different. I agree with you. I don't think I'd put it in a great sweet spot category, but definitely usable. Yes. I'd say the sweet spot on this, even for a 14, which I rarely ever say, is probably better than the Charm.
I think I would I think what it is for me is the feel as you go out to the edges is more consistent on the Opal than it is on the Charm.
Yeah. The biggest downside is the fact that at the moment, it is only going to come in a hybrid shape. I did talk to Dale, and he did say they are debating and possibly thinking about releasing it in elongated shape later. But at the moment, this is the only shape it's going to be released in.
Yeah. So anyways, that's kind of just the background story of why there was no review. I don't like playing that game. I want people to have
And we're very glad that we didn't.
Yeah.
Because it would have been a waste of time.
Yeah. For sure would have been a waste of time. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give you guys a ton more thoughts right now. I can give a little bit, but because I took the wrong paddle last night, and let me tell you, I mean, I played like 2 games with it, and I was so frustrated. I was like, dude, I can't hit a drop. I can't hit a dink. I can't hit a reset. I was like, this is obnoxious that I'm playing this bad.
Yeah.
And once I realized it was the wrong one, I was like, this makes so much more sense, because that's how I felt about the old one.
Yeah. I will say that even without weight, when we were hitting in our drill session and back at the 6-0 event, when you really connect with the ball, it moves.
Yeah.
It's definitely a power paddle.
Yeah,
like
unquestionably.
It makes the ball fly.
Yeah.
So I hit some pretty rocketing drives at that event. So no doubt about it, it's power paddle. I'm a bit bummed that it only comes in 14, and they said because of what they're calling gel shock layer in the paddle, that if they made it in a 16, it would just be too heavy for their liking.
I think it's power gel.
Is it power gel?
Yeah,
it's in the handle. That's right.
I think it's like shock shield is what's in the handle, and then the power gel is the layer in the.
All these marketing terms, getting them mixed up. But yeah, whatever gel face layer they put in it, if it was in a 16, it would just be too heavy for their liking, so it's only going to be in a 14, which for me, in my opinion, is a bit of a bummer. But I get it. I understand that.
Also, one thing that's probably just worth pointing out is I don't know exactly what the foam material is, but it is a different foam than it's not what's been used in all the other paddles. It's not EPP, it's not MPP. It's an entirely different foam.
The whole core construction and how it's built is drastically different
from all the other foam paddles.
Literally everything else. Yeah, it's very unique. So, and it definitely feels different
than all the other foam
than
paddles.
all the other ones. Yeah, sounds different, feels different. It's just expect a completely different paddle. What I will say, side note from that, the design of this is very, very nice. I think these paddles look awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Great design. So props to 6-0 on that.
Yeah.
I think 6-0 has always had, except for like the double black diamond and the black diamond, pretty elite looking, like stylized paddles.
I agree. The graphic designer crushes it.
Which I really appreciate.
Also, a couple other things. The swing weight is 113. These are all for our unit. Swing weight 113, twist weight 607, which for a hybrid, again, very low.
14. That's why.
Static weight 8.13, price $250. I honestly don't know if I've talked about this before. I have no idea if they're going to give me a code for talking about it on the podcast. They've like changed how all these things work, and it's kind of weird. So PB Studio may or may not work. I'm sure you can find another reviewer's code if mine doesn't work. But yeah, I think it's first of all, again, I'm just going to reiterate the fact that they made the changes will be better for the masses. I think it'll make the paddle much less polarizing. I am still confused how they can make this change. And maybe they've already talked to USAP and UPA. I don't know. But the fact that like the production models, I swear they were making it sound like they didn't have until like maybe a week ago. I just wonder if they had to recertify that at all. Because I think they're different enough that I would imagine test results have to be different.
Side note, this probably is going to affect almost no one. But just in case you are like wanting to buy one of these and you're at like a PPA event, the Pickleball Central booth, because they just pack that whole thing up and travel it to every new event. They keep all those paddles and they just traveling circus. I heard that the ones that they have could potentially be the older unit versions. So if you buy one from the Pickleball Central booth at a PPA, it might not be this newer updated version, and it could be that older flexy rough sweet spot one. So keep that in mind for all the very few people that might want to buy one at Pickleball Central.
Kind of just a messy launch.
Yeah.
It was confusing for everyone. I think just kind of across the board
for sure.
But anyways, I think objectively this is a very good paddle, but I do think it'll be a little bit more polarizing or take maybe more getting used to than some of the other foam paddles. Like I personally think that a lot of people can pick up something like a Vsol Pro or a Loco and not take a super significant amount of adjustment to get used to those paddles. Whereas if I was recommending someone the Opal, I would probably say like, look, this is probably going to take more time to get used to than some of those other paddles. Like I think it's pretty different from some of the other foam paddles out there.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Maybe it's just because I've been using power paddles and I'm leaning more towards power paddles that I found it. I mean, definitely a different feel, but I didn't have too much of an issue adjusting to it. Also could just be because I hit everything under the sun and it's just kind of what we do. But yeah, I agree. It is definitely a very different feel than everything else.
Like, one of the things that I would say is take how I thought the waves would be super polarizing, and it seems like it has been. Some people think it's the best thing since sliced bread, and then other people are like, dude, this paddle's terrible. Like, I think this is a step less polarizing than that.
Sure. So let me ask you this. If you had to go to a tournament and your option was Loco Hybrid or this, which would you take?
Oh, right now, Loco Hybrid, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's because I'm just loving the Loco.
Yeah.
And is a lot less different. But I'm going to put my time on this. And, you know, with weight and all the other things, I may find that there are aspects of this paddle, particularly with what is now the production model, that I may really enjoy about it. I just think I'm too early from like that 6-0 event and like, you know, just playing kind of casual games, goofing off. Like, it wasn't what I would consider to be like the normal, like, full style testing. I was more having fun than thinking about the paddle.
Sure.
But I think they've got a good thing going here. I just think it's going to take specific people that will prefer it over some of the other ones.
Yeah, I could see that.
The grit is also another thing that I'm very curious to see how it holds up. I'm sure everyone's heard the whole diamond grit thing being talked about. I've got some ideas for some testing that I'm going to run. I got to work out a little bit more of the testing methodology. Now that we've got more companies working on this, I kind of want to see who does have the more durable grit and do it in a way that's as proper as I can reasonably do it without going like way overboard.
Create our own standardized process.
Yeah, so going to try and work on that. It just might take a little bit since there's quite a few of these. But either way, that's the Black Opal. Yeah, I don't know. Be curious to hit this one more.
Yes, sure. This is I changed my tune on this one because it is, in my opinion, drastically different. And
I mean, yeah, you hated the
other one. Truly hated the other one. Like, I mean, it was immediate. I put time onto it too. I did not want to, but I had hit it multiple times and I could not find a way to like it. This one, if I had to go to a tournament tomorrow with it, I would not really complain that much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. What, man, how long we're in deep.
I know it's been a while. I don't have the right screen display on the R3, so we can't quite see the time. But
well, we're going to try and make the kitchen kind of quick. Or those of you in LA, you're going to love this pod.
I was going to say, we might have an LA pod. I had some people, I mean, we're getting into the world stuff. I had some people from LA come up to me and be like, dude, we want longer pods. So I was like, all right, we can do that.
I guess you're getting it right now. So a couple things. So Worlds, this is a PPA tour event, definitely one of the, if not the biggest pickleball event every year at this point.
For sure.
They've continued to make good improvements on this event, though they made one. Okay, look, I don't know if it's the PPA's fault. It could have been the vendor. But they had a pizza place the other years.
I knew, oh my gosh, I knew you were going to bring this up.
I loved that pizza place, and it wasn't there this year.
So it is so funny. So
it actually made me kind of mad.
My buddy and I drive down Saturday, and we went, I think we got there pretty late in the evening, stayed at our place, then we went to the venue the next morning, and I went and immediately looked at the vendors, and I was walking with my buddies, and I was like, I'm not kidding, you can ask him, I immediately looked at him and went, uh-oh. And he's like, what? And I was like, dude, Chris is going to be pissed. The pizza place is gone. That was the first thing I noticed when I walked over there. So yeah, that is a bit of a bummer. That place was very good.
The next best vendor this year was the chicken place. So
yeah,
better be there next year if they're not going to have the pizza place.
Dude, seriously.
But yeah, I saw that and I was like, no. I was so looking forward to getting that pizza.
Yeah.
But okay, handful of things. One thing they did, I thought this was cool. This was mentioned to me, and I thought it was worth mentioning because there was actually a story that kind of relates to this. But they did have AED and CPR training that people could take at Worlds. I think there was like a booth, and people could kind of learn about that. And the reason I thought this was, I mean, I think that's a good thing, period, just with pickleball. I mean, there are a lot of older people that play, and the story I'm about to tell will be related. But the facility my wife works at, someone actually had a heart attack at the facility, and there were two people that knew CPR and were able to do CPR, and then also they had to use the on-site AED, and the guy ended up thankfully being fine. He got to the hospital. Like, I don't think there was any long-term damage, but if no one knew how to use the AED there or didn't know CPR, that would have been pretty terrible. I mean, it sounded like
Probably
it was
wouldn't
a pretty
have been
crazy
the same outcome.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought that it was cool that they had that on site, and I think just the timing of that, where this heart attack happened to this facility, maybe within the last 2 weeks, just kind of crazy timing. And I've heard multiple times of pickleball stories where an AEDs had to be used.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I just thought it was cool that they were doing that, and I think that's a smart thing to be doing. Other than that, I mean, dude, I say it all the time, but dude, we loved everyone who came up and said hi. There was honestly so many people that came up and just said hilarious things.
Oh my gosh, so many stories.
I'm not even gonna remember most of them, but truly, guys, I puts a smile on my face every time you guys either know some of the inside jokes. Particularly, there was one day, this guy, this guy comes up. It was, I think you had already left because you and Sam were really tired. It was the day Mia played women's, and so we were just waiting for one of her matches. And this guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, dude, love the pot." He's like, "I think you guys are killing it," and he's like. He said two things that I think I'm going to forget what the second one was. But the first thing he says is he looks at both me and he goes, "Just so you know, Isaac's wrong about the clips." He's like, he was looking at me. It's like, "You keep killing it out there." He was talking about the pod where you're like, "Mia needs to be humbled." This guy was like, "Isaac's full of it." He's like, "No, you keep crushing." He's like, "You're a beast." So I just thought the way he said it, he definitely said it funnier. But anyways, his story I just thought was hilarious. The way his tone and everything was hilarious. And there was lots of other just people would come up and just make small jokes about things.
Dude, I know. I wish I could remember everything that was said. I need to just start writing these down immediately after so I don't forget. But the amount of people that came up to me and were like, "Dude, pod's awesome." He's like, "I just want to say, I use an elongated paddle because of you." And I look, the elongated
Should ask what his duper was.
The elongated crew, the gang is building. Okay, we will not die.
Here's maybe what we do. Isaac and I will all be at the Lakeland PPA.
Boom.
So if any of you are listening, here's what we need to do. You come up to Isaac or I, and you let us know if you're an elongated guy or a wide body guy. And at the end of the tournament, we see who came up and told us more wide body or more elongated.
Or what we do is everyone who comes up, we'll do a DUPR check and we'll put you on a list.
That works too.
By the end of it,
the spreadsheet.
Yeah. By the end of it, we'll check the average DUPR base of elongated users versus wide body and hybrid users. Just saying.
Works for me.
We can throw it out there.
Works for me.
So I just
pros don't count. If your DUPR's above 5.5, you don't count.
That literally defeats the whole point of elongated paddles. Better.
Our audience base. How many people do you think that listen to us percentage-wise are over 5.5? Of this entire, everyone that listens is over 5.5.
There's quite a few.
But percentage-wise, what do you think it is?
I don't know. I'd like it to be 99%.
I guarantee you it's less than 5.
You've indoctrinated and hypnotized everybody.
I'm not talking about the shit. I'm talking DUPR.
Oh, DUPR.
How many percentage-wise do you think are over a 5.5 DUPR and listen to this podcast?
Realistically, probably...
Less than 5. I'd be willing to bet you less than 2.
5? Less than 2?
You think out of 20,000 people, 20,000 plus people.
We got to have it. Come on. We got to be at least 5%.
No, there's no way. I don't buy it. If you have an over 5.5 DUPR, comment on this pod.
Over 5.
No, there's no way.
There's just not even that many 5.5 DUPR people in general.
That's my point. That's why I'm saying we're going to rule those people out.
And guess what? If you just take those 5.0 or 5.5 DUPR plus people and catalog what shape they're using, I guarantee it's 90% elongated. So I'm just saying, all you people who want to get to 5.0 or 5.5, use an elongated.
They could be 6.0.
Leaving it
That's
at that.
all I'm saying.
But yeah, I cannot stress this enough. It is so much fun getting to meet all you guys. I had some really great time, really cool stories, just spending time getting to meet all of you. I know sometimes there might have been a few people who came up trying to said hi quickly, and I didn't have a lot of time to talk much because I was filming. But really appreciate everyone who comes up and says something. It truly means the world.
Yeah, no, it's a ton of fun. So yeah, thanks to everyone. Real quick, I'm just going to try and recap some of my experience. If you don't want Chasing 5.0 spoilers, there's going to be spoilers here. I'm definitely behind on my edits. I haven't even finished Vegas yet, so I don't know when Worlds is going to come out. But I got to play 3 events. So I got to play a Champions men's division, which you had to qualify for. My men's partner qualified, so I got in through him. Then I played men's again on Saturday, which was a regular men's division. And then I played mixed on Sunday. And this was a very interesting tournament because I would say of all the tournaments I have played since starting this series, I was probably the least nervous at this tournament. There would be times where I was maybe tight. A match is 9-9, and, obviously you want the win. And I'd maybe tense up a little bit, but it wasn't the same type of nerves that I felt in Vegas or Virginia or even prior to that. And I think one of the things that's been interesting about this series that I've been pretty happy with is most of the time the mistakes I identify in a tournament, I don't make that same mistake the next tournament. Like I've been pretty good about that. And so it felt nice to be a little less nervous at this tournament outside of, probably what I would say is like normal elevated adrenaline.
Sure.
So that was good. But Wednesday, we went 2-2. We lost our first round, I believe they're both juniors. Lost 5-11, 3-11. It was just kind of a rough game. Honestly, I think we could have played better. I think just looking at that score line and how we played, I'm not going to say we would have won necessarily, but I think we should have put up a better fight than that. I don't think we played particularly great pickleball in that game. So it was kind of a bummer to lose that. Then we won. We were stomping it in the backdrop, 15-3, 15-6. And I can't remember if it was at Worlds or if I had someone DM me, but someone was like, hey, have you considered just like maybe playing 4-5 division? Like it doesn't seem like you're winning in 5-0. Like maybe you just play some 4-5 divisions. When I've looked at DUPRs, when we play teams that are about, I would say anywhere between 4-3 and 4-5, like maybe there's a 4-6 and there's a 4-3, almost always we stomp that team. Like I'm pretty sure the teams we beat in the backdraw had a couple of those, like a 4-6 and a 4-3 or something, and 15-3, 15-6. So I'm not going to claim that if we played a 4-5 division, it's a walk in the park. I don't believe that. But I feel like I've won 4-5 enough times now that it's like, feels like a waste of time. I would rather get the reps with the better people and learn what they're doing rather than do things that I already know people do, and then I have to learn the stuff from the 5-0s anyways.
Well, and you also just don't really, let's just say you play a 4-5 division, you win, and you just stomped everybody. Okay, sure, you won. And now with the new DUPR algorithm, you might not even really gain much.
You'd have to really stomp them.
You'd have to really stomp them, or you're going to go down.
Yep.
And what's the point?
Yeah.
Like you said, you're not learning anything. If you're not being tested and you're just doing the same thing and stomping people, then you're not gaining anything. You're not gaining knowledge. You're not gaining skill. Like there's just no point.
I agree.
Right? So yeah, I don't think there's much benefit into playing 4-5 events for you. Yeah.
So then on Wednesday, our last match that we played and ended up losing, we lost 13-15, and we had to play a Minnesota team. I can't tell you the amount of times you travel 800 plus miles just to play someone from your hometown.
It's crazy. This has happened twice now.
Yeah. And it feels, it's definitely happened more in the past.
Well, for sure in the past.
But just since chasing 5-0. And so I haven't played these guys in a tournament, but I know that, I've played one of them in mixed, but I hadn't played them in men's.
Sure.
And it was a great match overall. I think the level of pickleball was good from everyone. I think it was a fun match. I think it really could have gone either way. The match ended up ending on a drive net cord winner, which is just always a terrible way to go out.
It's a bummer.
But, I think they earned it, and they actually went on to get bronze at the tournament. And I think what's funny about some of these tournaments is I keep losing to people that end up in the medal matches. I'm like, how do I always end up on the side of the bracket with the medal match people? I'm like, and a lot of times I feel like maybe let me rephrase. Not a lot of times. This tournament in specific, there were multiple times where we ended up going out to people that ended up in gold or bronze that were beatable. I think we could have beat this Minnesota team. I don't know if we played 10 times. I don't know what the percentage would be. Maybe 50%, 50-50. But I don't know. I guess it feels nice in terms of coping to be like, oh, well, I lost to the bronze team. At least I lost to a team that was good, Actually, the bronze medal match was the team that knocked us out first round and then this team. And then they, I believe, beat the team that knocked us out first round pretty easily. So it's like, maybe we could have beat them, or maybe it's like rock, paper, scissors.
It's definitely the style thing. It matters.
Yeah. So 2-2, again, it's like, what's been really fascinating is I feel how much better I get. I feel every tournament I'm learning something new. I'm coming in with like a new skill set, but the result still hasn't been what I want it to be. I haven't had like a 4-2. I haven't had a 5-2, or I haven't made it to a gold medal match, but it feels like I am capable of doing it, but it's like I haven't been able to piece everything together for an entire tournament. Yeah. It's like I can piece it together for matches or a match, and then something slips a little bit later.
I think it's a matter of like, you have a lot of the tools and you can use them, but when it comes to shifting the skill set that you need, depending on the opponents, sometimes you like slip. You get in, like you beat one team easily and you used a set of skills, but then when you play the next team and you might need to adjust or play differently, you're kind of locked into that previous style of play in the match, and it's hard for you to adjust quickly in the middle of a match, is what I've noticed.
Sure. Yeah, it's been very interesting. It feels a lot of it feels like very mental. Obviously, there's still definitely things I could clean up. One of the things I'll get to that in a minute. Men's Saturday, again, 2-2. Had a great, our first match we won, I believe, pretty easily, 11-3, 11-7. And then we played a great match that went to 3. I don't even remember the scores, but they were pretty close overall. I think I want to say the third was 11-7. And honestly, this was a very fun match. I think probably in tournaments, one of the more fun matches I've played. The people, good sportsmanship. It was intense enough to where you could definitely feel it was competitive and people wanted to win, but no one was being contentious about line calls. No one was
Which
yelling
match was
in
this?
their face. The indoor one, Grandstand.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
That was a really good match.
That was a loud match.
I was a what?
Loud.
Why loud? Because it was indoor?
No.
Oh, just because people were yelling?
The opponents, you were both yelling back, like not like angrily.
Yeah.
Like it was because you were getting hyped and it was a tight match, but like definitely a lot of yelling.
I can't even remember. I probably blacked out.
I should just clip it and just...
Well, it'll be in Chasing 5-0. It'll be there.
Yeah, there was a lot of yelling in that match, but that match is going to look cool because it was on Grandstand. The filming of that we just had a lot of good camera angles. That one I'm excited to watch back.
Now, unfortunately with that one, the guy that played the right side, I have lost to this guy 3 times in tournaments now. I lost to him with Will, I lost to him with you, and now I lost to him with Sergey. I keep losing to this dang guy.
That's unfortunate.
And it's just... But I mean, he's a great player. It's just one of those ones. I was like, man, my win-loss record against him is terrible.
Your kryptonite.
Yeah, but no, overall, really good match. I had some sick lobs in that match.
But this is Men's Day. We have to get to it. Your last match of the day.
We might as well just skip to that.
We're calling you out. We're calling you out right here publicly on the pod. What did you do?
I finally had it happen, guys. I finally hooked someone unintentionally, not on purpose.
He gave him the hook.
I gave him the hook on match point.
Not on
my match point, to be clear.
Yeah. He didn't win. He lost. So it's okay.
So here's kind of the background story. So if I'm understanding correctly, so in Virginia, we didn't get to play our main draw match because my partner got in too late from his flight. So we immediately went to the back draw. But I think the team that we were supposed to play was the team that I played at Worlds, is I believe how they were explaining it to me, because I think they mentioned it, but I was so focused on trying to get ready that I didn't really understand what was going on. Anyways, we were down pretty bad. I want to say we were down maybe 4-13 at one point, or 4-11, and we got all the way up to 11-13. So the match starts getting a little bit more intense at this point. Everyone's playing better. It's, getting a little louder. They get to 14. They serve the ball, and it's a very deep serve. And I'm just looking at the ball, and I hit it, and Sergey calls it out. I genuinely couldn't see it. If I see a ball and I believe it was even close to being out, I will call it out. And I did watch the video. It was out.
He saw the second one.
Well, okay.
And he thought it was out.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So my partner calls the serve out, and the opponents both look at us like, you sure about that? That ball looked pretty in. And I was like, look, guys, I didn't see it, so I'm going to go with what my partner saw. But if I saw it and I thought it was in,
I'm sure
I would give it to you.
I do believe that one was out.
Yeah. From the angle that I'm looking at, that one does look out.
Yeah.
But, it's a tight call for sure. It's not like it was 3 inches out.
Yeah.
It was definitely close. Now, this next one, they're still serving. They're at 14-11 at this point. And the guy hits kind of a block counter, floats it a little bit. We both watch this ball go. It's going towards the sideline. We both turn. Everyone sees this ball on the court. And we also had a lot of people on the sidelines watching.
There was a ton of people watching.
There's probably 30 people watching this match.
Yeah, at least.
And Sergey and I both turn, and we see the ball, and I swear it was out.
Okay.
I confidently saw it.
Now, let me say, you guys both called out, and I'm going to reenact literally everyone on the sideline. And now all of 95% of us are there cheering for you.
Yeah.
Okay? This is everybody.
For those of you listening, Isaac turned his head and like put his hands over his face.
Dude, even people cheering for you, your friends.
Yeah.
And now, trust me, I hate it with a burning passion when people from the sideline are trying to like make out calls and be like,
like
oh, that
influence,
was it.
influence the call. Yeah.
It makes me so angry.
Yeah.
Even if they're on our side.
Yeah.
Our friends who do it, it makes me angry.
Yeah.
Literally everyone was like, oh, Chris.
I couldn't hear anyone on the sidelines. I literally only was looking at my phone.
It was like a massive crowd of just like, the like cartoon gasp. It was like, it was, yeah.
So watching this video back, because after the tournament, obviously I go and watch it because I was like, oh, I mean, if I was wrong, I'd like to know. Literally in sync, like perfect synchronization, we turn around, fingers up. Like we both thought we confidently saw it out. That ball was very clearly on the line in post. So it's crazy to me that I saw that, what I thought was out, because the ball it's not like it was an overhead. It was a reasonably slow ball that it's not like you were yanking your head back.
Yeah, you had time to watch it.
Had time to watch it. But as soon as it called it out, the one guy, like hands on his head, he's like, there's no way. Like,
rightfully so.
No, for sure, rightfully so. I don't think the guy did anything wrong. But I was like so caught off guard by his reaction. Because I was like, wait, did we just see the same thing? Clearly we didn't. But, we went back and forth for, I don't know, at least 30 seconds. The one guy was like, look, dude, like, if you saw it out, you saw it out. But, like, you could tell he was like, that ball was in. But his partner was like, pretty
kind of losing it.
He was kind of losing it. But, look, but if that was me, if we flipped this whole situation, I probably also would have been losing it.
Yeah.
So I don't fault him at all.
Now what he's saying is if you're going to Lakeland, Florida or Daytona, Florida, and you see Chris and Sergey, bring your camera, and if it gets close in the match, keep an eye out, be real careful, because they called tight line. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I felt bad. I went back to the Airbnb because Mia didn't play until later that evening. So I was like, okay, well, you guys should probably rest. So I was like, oh, I'll offload the footage and I'll look at it. And then when I went back to the venue, I saw him. He was still in the back draw playing. And so I went up to him and I apologized. I was like, hey, dude, like I looked, that ball actually wasn't. Like, sorry about that. I genuinely wasn't trying to hook you. And he was super chill about it. Like literally immediately after that, he's like, oh, you want to go hit some balls? And so he wasn't, mad or anything. But I was like,
there was no ill intention. It wasn't like you're intending to hook them. It's all now just like a funny story.
Yeah.
So
first time I've ever done that and was, poof.
I mean, yeah, usually 90% of the time you're on the opposite end of the spectrum where the ball's 6 inches out and you're calling it in.
Yeah.
So like it's all just.
But I'll tell you, I'm sure my body language, even in the video, shows it. I was so uncomfortable because I was like, I hate arguing with people. I'm not there to fight with people. But I was like, dude, I swear it's out. So I don't know. It was uncomfortable, highly uncomfortable. So yeah, anyways, 2-2 both days on men's day. Wish we had done better. I think we're capable of doing better. It's just, I think there's some small things I think we got to clean up to get it figured out. But I feel like I think we are capable of going deeper. It's just like, got to string it together at the right times. Don't even.
Brother. Anyways.
Okay, moving on. Mixed. So our first match, we played some people from Japan. Mia actually played the girl in women's first round the day prior.
Yep.
And that match also went to 3. We lost the first one 9-11. We win the second one 12-10. And then we just kind of fell apart in the last one. We lost 11-3. I think their level of play really got a lot better. But what was interesting about this one was I personally felt like I played, I wouldn't say it was bad, but I think really what it was is I played way too tentative. There were a lot of balls that I would say waist height, maybe a little below shoulder height, that I think most players, like yourself included, you get that ball, that ball's done. You're putting it away, or they are scrambling so hard that they're on their back foot and they're not hitting a good ball back. Yeah. But for whatever reason, I was just like very scared to swing on those balls. It was the first time this tournament where I was playing indoors. So I don't know.
That's not true. The men's.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
but you had
a great court.
You had great lighting. There was like
great spacing.
It was just much better, easier to see the ball. If you were at the venue, you go on any of those other indoor courts, it is so dark. And the lights on the ceiling make it extremely difficult to see the ball. So I can understand being a bit more tentative on higher balls because, dude, it was so easy to literally just completely whiff the ball.
Yeah. So I don't know. For whatever reason, I felt like the first one, had I been able to play more aggressive or just play a little better, I feel like I think we could have taken this match in 2. It definitely, like, as we were playing it, it didn't feel like a team that was so far above our skill level. They were great. I'm not saying they were bad players. Like, I want to be clear, but it just felt like, man, Chris, like if you just played a little looser.
You played better in the second one.
Definitely played better in the second one. I did pick it up because I think I realized, like, okay, don't do that again.
Yeah.
Then for whatever reason dropped off in the third. But what I think was upsetting about this is that team went on to win gold. And so it was like, dude, we could have knocked out the gold team match 1, you're telling me? And it didn't feel like it was a match that was like impossible to win. Like, that's what was upsetting.
For sure.
And of course, there's different matchups, right? That doesn't mean we would have won. It doesn't mean we would have podiumed.
So, I mean, without going into like insane detail, what was it, do you think, that they were doing so much better, at least in the third game?
They turned their aggressiveness way up.
Okay.
For some reason, they were also like a lot more passive, willing to dink. The guy didn't really come over and take a lot of balls. And I think in the last one, he was doing that more. Their drives were just like on point. So many of our points were probably lost from they had a great serve, we'd have a weaker return, and then they would shake and bake, essentially.
Sure.
Is what it felt like.
Okay.
So them making that adjustment was huge for them. I think that was a very good adjustment.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a bummer to lose that one. I was actually I wouldn't even say I was mad about that. I think I was like sad. It was more just like, dude, like, come on. Like,
you had it.
Yeah, you had it. So anyways, that happened. They ended up getting gold, so congrats to them. They're very nice people. And then our second match, 15-3. And, for context, I want to say that first team was a 5-3 guy and a 4-7 woman. So again, it's like, okay, I can play with these better people. Like, my DUPR might be 4-7, but this dude's a 5-3.
Yeah.
I believe 100% reliability. It's like, he's a legit guy. And then our next one was, I think, a 4-8 or 4-9 guy, and then maybe a 4-6 or 4-7 woman, and we won that 15-3. I mean, that was like that match felt like, oh, when we play this level, this is how good we can play.
For sure.
Like, I felt like there was not a single moment in that match where I didn't feel like we were in control. I felt every shot I wanted to hit, I was confident in hitting it. I felt like, you want to speed this ball up through the middle? Go for it. I'm going to send it right back a lot harder.
Yeah.
You know? So that was another one. I was like, dude, just do that all the time. Why can't you just do that always?
Dude, seriously.
And then last one, because we ended up going 1-2, 1-2 for mixed day. We lost 11-15 in the last one. Was a lefty guy, a righty woman, so it's just kind of a different pattern than we were used to. The guy could cover an insane amount of court.
Covered a lot of court, big drive, big crash. He'd crash on his own drive.
She had a very big serve, which set up a lot of points. And it was playing him, what was very interesting, because we've only had maybe one other opponent that covered about this much court, is when you have a guy that is willing to cover that much, even if they don't necessarily do a lot with the ball on every shot, it feels like the whole kitchen shrinks because there's like no spot that feels safe where you can get it away from the person. So I think that actually makes you play a little bit tighter, and then you're kind of messing up or popping up some balls and then start some firefights. But this was a fun one because, again, like I swear every tournament, I could probably have said this for every tournament we've played this year. We were down a ton. We were down like 311 or 312, 313. I don't know. And then we rifled a bunch off. We got like 7 in a row to get back to like 11-13. We ended up losing 11-15. But again, it's one of those ones where it's like, oh, you can do it. Just do it, dude. Just do it. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So it was a good match overall. Again, that one ended on a net cord drive winner.
Yeah.
Freaking net cord drive winners. Dang it.
This is the beginning of him turning into Colin Johns.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, well, dude, I'm not going to lie. Both of the ones we lost on net cord drive winners, I was pretty frustrated. The guy like shouted pretty loud when they won on the net cord drive winner. And in my head, I was like, really, bro? You're going to celebrate? And look, I would have done the same thing. I'm like, this is why I can't even be mad. I would have done that with the pressure that was building in that match.
For sure.
No doubt I was yelling if I hit a net cord drive winner. But in the moment, I was like, God, dang it. I was like,
we all feel that. Yeah, we all feel that.
About to Colin Johns throw my hat on the ground, kick the thing.
Okay, so, I mean, I don't know if you want to say too much about this for spoiler purposes or whatever, but we've gone through, let's just say, most of the season. We're halfway through the season of Chasing 5-0.
Yeah.
We got 2 events left.
Yep.
Or 2 tournaments left.
Yep.
Give us your prediction, your odds, your updated midway season odds of making it to 5-0.
So I think we technically got 3 tournaments left. So there's 2 PPAs. And
well, I'm just talking for the big ones, because there's like a local one, but you've got the 2 Florida PPAs.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to take some like double golds, like men's and mixed.
And beating some high-rated teams.
Which that part doesn't even, I think, phase me that much, just because, I mean, there were maybe 4 teams we played this weekend that had 5-3, 5-2 DUPRs. So it's like, I know, and we played well against them. We didn't, some of them we won, some of them we didn't, I think. So it's like, I know we can do it. So I'm not too worried about that. But it's definitely going to take having some miracle runs. I think with the new algorithm, I think what I'm realizing with DUPR is grinding when you have 100% reliability
impossible.
Is the least efficient way to do it.
Yeah.
If you are truly concerned about probably trying to get a higher DUPR as fast as possible and maybe with the least amount of money as possible, is you would drill a bunch, you would play no tournaments for 6 months, let your reliability drop. And actually, this is a great discussion. Maybe we'll just talk about this a little bit quick with DUPR. I think when the algorithm update came out, there were a lot of people who were super concerned about their DUPR tanking if they won because they didn't beat a team by enough. I have now played enough matches at 100% reliability this entire time that I can confidently tell you that you do not have big swings up or down. I think the worst swing I've had was dropping 0.02 or like gaining 0.03 when I really stomped a team or maybe really lost to a team. But there was a team this weekend that I think we had a pretty tight match with that was maybe a 4-7 and a 4-3 or something like that. We won 15-13, and it was neutral. I was actually surprised they didn't gain anything or that I didn't drop. I fully expected to drop on that match.
Sure.
But personally, I think the concerns about losing a lot of DUPR if you have a high reliability doesn't happen. I think it's always a pretty consistent move up or down. But what that means is if you're trying to do what I'm doing right now on a timeline, it's very hard to gain DUPR quickly.
For sure.
Unless you play out of your mind.
Yeah, you just have to have one event where you go crazy.
But if you have low reliability, because 2 of our friends in some of these last tournaments have had lower reliability ratings, I've seen swings as big as 0.2, 0.3.
Yeah.
So up or down.
Right.
So if you feel confident that you are actually higher than what your DUPR is, let your reliability go down, then go play a tournament, and you'll have a 0.2, 0.1
if you
swing.
if you really want your DUPR to swing, just don't play a tournament for a while. Let it go down, and then go play one. Like right now is the time for me, if I wanted to get back into singles, for me to make my return to singles. Because my reliability for my singles is darn near 0.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to make a return, now's the time.
So next year when I do Chasing 5-0 for singles, I'll do it in one video.
Dude, it could be legit like one tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
One match.
So I think that's an interesting part about it. But yeah, I think it's going to be, if I'm being honest, it's going to be pretty hard to hit 5-0 this year unless something just crazy happens.
All that means is more content.
I'm fine with more content. I mean, I've been genuinely shocked how many people have liked this series.
All that means is money in our friend group's pocket.
I don't know. Sam's been going the wrong way.
Sam's really trying to help you. I'm starting to think you paid him off, but even still, it's not happening.
He's lost like 0.15 since I started this.
Yeah, he went down from 5.35 to 5.2.
Yeah, he's going the wrong way. He's going
not
the wrong
great,
way.
but even still,
yeah.
I think we're safe.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of just some of the stories from Worlds. I think the learning lessons on this for me. Actually, here's a great example. There were 2 lessons. I said I'd come back to this. So we rewatched the match for mixed, and an interesting habit that I have is how late I split step. So almost every single time, my split step is very consistently, I'm splitting as the ball is like at the net, like crossing the net, or sometimes even later than that.
Sure.
When I should be splitting probably right as they're about to hit, or I should be landed as the ball is like passing the net. And so very consistently, I was always late, which it was very obvious why I was getting late to some balls is because my split was so bad. So I'm working on that to fix right now. We knew this about me, but it was even funnier to watch the tape back. Every shoulder high ball, every overhead, I always close my eyes when I hit it. I promise you, every time you see me making contact, my eye is closed.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. I do it on serves, I'm pretty sure, and I do it on drives.
Dude's trying to play on hard mode. He's like, I can do this with my eyes closed.
But think about this. Think when I can open my eyes and split step properly, how good I'll be at pickleball.
Mission impossible.
Yeah, it was crazy to me watching that back. So
that is kind of wild.
That's one of the things I'm working on right now. I worked on that a little bit last night.
But when you are tracking the ball, your eyes are like straight bug eyes. And
I know.
Oh, you open those things as much as possible.
That's what I think is funny. My tracking when the overhead is coming, my eyes are wide open. Couldn't be more open. And then the second I'm making contact, I'm like, boom. Now's a good time to blink.
Yep.
It's really, really weird. So yeah, I don't know. Lots to learn. But overall, I think Worlds, one of the best pickleball events right now. I think I haven't been to USAP Nationals in a long time because you have to qualify, and I just haven't done APP events.
Yeah.
So I would love to see how those are being held because in the past, that was a very good event. US Open's a very good event. I think those are like probably the top 3 pickleball events you could go to in pickleball.
For sure. Now, let me just get into a few things.
Okay.
Our critiques of the venue. Because every year we've had some critiques. They fixed a few things.
I will say every year they do better.
They kind of.
Okay.
They got rid of the pizza place. That might not be
their fault.
Be their fault.
That could be the vendor.
But they could have tried harder to get that pizza place back there. That's all I'm going to say.
Offer them more money.
That's what I'm saying.
Offer them whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes to get that place back. But the water solution this time, I went 50-50 on. I couldn't decide if I liked it. One year, horrendously bad.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had like the really big water jug out by the outside courts. Better, not great. This year, I couldn't really decide. I think they had these like automated water fill stations.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them right side by side inside of the indoor barns on the indoor courts. And then I heard there was another one outside kind of on the street, the Pickleball Boulevard area, but it was kind of more tucked away.
I never found that one.
Harder to find. My thing is they need signs. They need more signs, clear signs saying water here, water in this direction, water like whatever. Like, or just get more of those. Now I know it's difficult. You have to find places where you can hook up to water. And like it might be difficult, but like just make it clear where it's at.
Yeah.
That was probably one of my biggest critiques. And then the other largest critique, turn down the gosh dang volume on the music, man. I do not want to be at an EDM concert while watching or playing pickleball.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they make it this big deal of having this huge stage and these bands and this and that, but like, dude, it is so unbelievably loud right next to the courts, especially when you're inside. You can practically feel the place shaking, and it's like, it does not need to be that loud.
Yeah, for sure. There were definitely times where I thought the music was a bit distracting. Honestly, most of the time I thought it was completely fine. Rarely bothered me, and I actually kind of liked just the vibe of having music, but I think it probably didn't need to be quite as loud.
You can turn it down. It does not need to be. It was just so absurdly loud that I'm like, if we just turn this down 25%, it would be better. That is probably my biggest complaint. Otherwise, everything else is great. It was a fun event. The vibes of it was fun. It's always cool, like just having a lot of people there. Vendors everywhere. Like it's a fun event, and I get why they do it. Mm-hmm. But just tone it down a little bit. You know,
we are there to play pickleball.
Exactly. So that's probably my biggest complaint. I don't know if you had any other.
The only thing that I would say, like my critique this year was probably it would be nicer if they didn't put the score table so far away. Like the score table to me should be like more centrally located, like along Pickleball Boulevard, because you're just walking. Like if you, depending on where you are in the venue, you may have a pretty far walk to go pick up your basket and then go back to your court, which I think can be a little bit annoying. So I don't know why they tuck it away in such a far corner.
I get why they do it, but it would make more sense for the players to have the score sheet desk closer to the courts. Like they want Pickleball Boulevard to just be all about, vendors and partying and these different things, but it would make more sense to kind of switch some of the vendors back in that area where the tournament desk was and just kind
Which
of
I guess
swap
would
them.
probably suck because, that's pretty... I get it.
Yeah.
It's so far back there that those vendors are probably getting ignored.
Exactly. I get why they do it, but it sucks for the players. Yeah. So I could go back and forth on it.
But I think the only other thing, and it's not even really their fault, I just think if Brookhaven Country Club could do better lighting indoors, if they could fix their lighting...
Yeah,
that would really clean up some complaints on some of those indoor courts.
Lighting is definitely pretty rough out there.
But I think they, compared to their first year where it just felt like a lot of things were pretty much a disaster, I genuinely think they have made improvements on the things that matter each year.
This is one of the first years where it didn't rain.
Yeah, that was great.
That was nice to not have it being rained out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, outside of all that, everything, that's probably again, my only 2 complaints about the venue. And I think one of those solutions, both honestly are pretty easy. Turn the volume down, add more signs directing where water's at.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get into, I know we don't really talk a lot about pro matches, but I think there were some really interesting things that happened, and I just want to get into it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of really cool matchups, and I mean it's a massive tournament. They up the points to 3,000 points for the pros, which is like double what some of the biggest ones are. So it mattered a lot more to some of the players. It's some of the highest level, most insane matches I've ever seen. Like I think I saw it was Fed in Paris playing Anna Bright and Hayden. Watched that match live. That was an unreal match to play. Just some of the craziest points I've ever seen. Roscoe and Wyatt Stone played JW and CJ, went to 3, and I think they lost like 11-9 in the third. Unreal match. But what I want to get into the most that I thought was very interesting was Fed and Hayden beat Ben and Gabe.
Yeah.
Now, Fed has gotten a lot of hate. I've always been a fan of Fed, but in the recent history, he's complained a lot and he's kind of just been annoying about things, and it's been hard to kind of like him, but he showed so much emotion in that interview.
Yeah.
Like he started crying, and he was saying like how hard he works and how much he cares about the sport. Like that made me regain some like fan. Like I like Fed for like, he truly cares about the sport.
Yeah.
And he puts so much effort in. Like that I really liked.
No, I saw that same interview, and I thought it was like great to see for a number of reasons, because I think one, it makes us as fans more invested when you can tell how much people care. I think with how much these are back to back and they're all playing the same each other and they're all exhausted from travel, like sometimes winning, people just don't really care that much, or you don't get the vibe that they care, or it's the same people winning all the time, so you don't really care. But seeing how much he cared, you're like, oh yeah, you just like want to root for this guy.
And you just don't see that with many players.
Yeah.
And it's talked about with the guaranteed contracts. I know that's changing, but people are just like, they get in, get out, get their money, and they just don't really care. It is really cool to see like some of these players, like it means a lot to them.
Yeah.
So it was just refreshing to see that, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, with some of the other stuff, a lot of the juniors playing there and seeing how kind of relevant they're becoming, it is just insane.
Oh no,
how good they're getting.
The juniors are. I mean, the amount of junior matches I watched. I even played against a couple juniors just in some rec matches, and I cannot believe how good these kids are. This sport, in another 4 or 5 years, when these kids grow and have some size on them,
Bro, you're going to be hitting your athletic peak at 15 is what it feels like. Like, these kids are unreal, dude.
There was one match specifically I walked by and I saw these. I don't think I quite realized they were kids, but I could tell they were younger, just balling out. I'm like, this is like a qualifier level match. Good. They're like, everyone's hyped. There's like yelling, there's cheering, whatever. And I like looked over that. So I was like, what division is this? Because it was on my mixed day. So I was like, I know they're not. Why are they playing men's? And someone was like, oh, this is the juniors under 16. And I like about fell over because I was like, these kids are under 16.
Dude,
I was
I
like,
know.
I'm quitting. I'm quitting.
But here's the thing. Honestly, for some of them, the junior division is pointless because some of them are so good that they should just be playing pro, which they are.
Yeah.
So like, give a few shout outs here. Camden Chafin. That kid's insane. I played him in a next gen last year, right before World, literally a year ago. Kid is insane. He played with Will Schaefer, who's also now playing main draw. Very good player. Dude, the GOAT. My favorite junior. Actually, my 2 favorite juniors. Tama, which, I'm sorry, I will mispronounce your last name every single time. But he is so much fun to watch. He has played Hunter Johnson's in singles. He lost, but had a good run against him. Hayworth, he's played against, he played Hayworth this one, and Cam played Hayworth in another event previously. They were making him work for it. Like, they had some really good points against him. And then Andre Marcado, the GOAT, my favorite junior. This kid is a legend. He is just so much fun to watch. He is an awesome player. That, like, him and Tama in Vegas almost beat Matt Wright Nonsense, took him to 3.
Yeah.
These kids are 14 years old.
Yeah.
It is insane how good they are. Ella Ye, she's 15. She's insanely good. Like, it's just crazy how good these kids are getting, dude. It's so much fun to watch.
Makes me sit there and go, I'm like, So what, some of you kids been playing for like 2 years? You're basically already pro level. I'm like, 4 years deep. I'm not even 5-0 yet. I'm like, that's nice. Must be nice.
But then you got to look at the other side of the coin and be like, Matt Wright's in his late 40s.
True.
And he's still out there.
And he's still balling.
If he can do it.
So maybe I'll hit my athletic peak when I'm 45 is what I'm hearing.
You never know.
I got 16 more years to go.
Yeah. So,
but no, juniors are crazy.
The juniors are wild. It's really cool to watch them and see how good they're getting. And like it just, again, you can tell it means a lot to them. So it's so cool. I really appreciate that. I think we need to invest more into the junior side of things.
Which seems like they are investing into it like quite a bit. I mean, they're on more streamed courts and they're everywhere. I mean, the junior scene compared to junior scene 2 years ago was essentially non-existent. Now it's
huge.
Juniors feel like they could be their own tournament.
Yeah. They could have a junior tour.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty sick.
So, do we have a word this week? Maybe we just make it worlds.
Sure, worlds.
Worlds is the word of the week.
That works for me. I'm scrolling through here. I don't see another good word. So we'll do worlds. If you made it this far, if you made it this deep into the kitchen, worlds.
Boom.
So, all right.
What a pod.
Yeah, this is a long one. This is probably close to 2 hours. So if you made it to the end of this, you're a real one. You're probably from California.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.